All right, and welcome back to the Gulthias tree, session 2, the failed Dragonpriest. Last session, the group, after spending some time in the town of Hillwatch, um, gathered together and journeyed forth out into the wilds, learning a little bit about the mystery impalations of random creatures, especially beasts of burden and livestock of the townsfolk. Um, oh, is my audio not working?
I can hear you.
Oh, sorry, I saw Stephanie post something in the chat there. Apologies. Back to what I was saying. um, the quest continued to the ravine known as the Sunless Citadel. There was a rope bound to a strange totem with goblin graffiti on it and older, still draconic graffiti. They descended down the rope, fought some rats, they found an arm back with some goblins. They found a leg with the rats. They found the rest of the body of this strange artificed person. And then they found its soul inside of a strange room filled with a haunting music that sent a couple of the individuals running from the room that it was in. Breaking the orb and freeing the soul to re-enter its body, they've been joined by Aveline, and they've kind of moved on. Not concerned too much with that, allowing Alenia rather, to safeguard this individual, and they are continuing their adventurous quest into what appears to be a cul-de-sac with a tomb. An interloper, invisible demon type, tried to sneak past them. They butchered it, and then Nodder hopped over a pit filled with spikes, landed on the other side, popped open that trunk of a casket, and out came a probably somewhere close to about 11, 12 feet tall at its full standing extent, green skinned, elf like, troll like creature. Bound in the robes of a dragon priest. And that's where we left off last session.
I missed all of that because my audio was not working.
It was just a synopsis of last session. You were here. So, that said, is your audio working now? You okay?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I've put up the turn tracker. Select your token, open your character sheet, click on the initiative button in the top middle there, and that should roll you initiative, but we are going straight into a combat.
Oh shit. Apparently I wasn't launched.
Because bears.
Bears.
I do dumb.
Yeah, it's not dumb, it's not smart, it's just, I don't know, some people would say it's not ideal.
Why is my character pop-up not working?
Do not know.
Oh.
Might be lagging.
It was.
Alright.
And you wanted us to roll...
Initiative. Select your token and roll your initiative. Let's see. Hold on. David rolled, but his token didn't add. So, I can do it. And then Stephanie, same deal.
Oh, yeah, I don't have visibility to my tokens, so I
Weird.
missed
It should be on the bottom of the map.
Oh yeah, I got green.
that. Oh, okay, I just had to scroll. There we go.
And I think Elizabeth is the last of the need to roll the dice. Oh, I need to roll for Alenia.
John, it looks like your GM initiative rolled like visible to us.
I know. For GM or for initiative rolls, it's fine because you're gonna see it on the tracker. Attack rolls for it should be rolling. Let me test it real quick or check it. Yeah, it should be good. All right. Elizabeth is there. Okay, cool. All right. descending. Highest initiative on the board. Hero, what is your dexterity score?
Dexterity is 18.
And Nodder, what is your dexterity score?
15?
Okay, so that means Hero is faster than you. And the same question will be asked of me and the Dragonpriest, and I can guarantee that Sen, they are faster than the Dragonpriest. Freebies for the initiative startup. I would like for Aveline, Hero, and Nodder to all make your choice of either a perception check or a medicine check. Your choice.
Super perception.
All right. And, okay. So, because you rolled medicine, you'll have advantage for the roll. What you two, and by you two I mean Nodder and Aveline, realize about this Dragonpriest is it doesn't look like it is of a sufficient height to fit comfortably inside the casket. And as it's coming out, you can see that it's gaunt. Looks like there are dagger marks in its chest. And it looks like it's kind of obviously a bit emaciated from probably not having eaten in a long time. It also looks like its bones are kind of rickety from having been stuffed inside of the casket question. All right. Hero, you're first. There's about a 10-foot jump in between you and Nodder. As long as you have a 20-foot running start, which it looks like you do, you should be able to make that jump no problem.
I can make it all the way up to adjacent to this dude, right?
With a single move, you can get right behind the bear.
Oh, gotcha.
If you want to dash, you can get in its face. But you won't be able to attack this turn.
How much of a running start do I need in order to clear the hit?
So, for real quick note on how jumping works. If you're jumping from just a stationary position and you're just doing a jump, you can jump a number of feet equal to your strength modifier. If you get a running start of 20 feet, then you can jump a number of feet equal to your strength score. Rounded up to the nearest 5 in both instances. So you can jump 5 feet with just a jump, or you can jump 20 feet if you get a running start.
Gotcha. I'm just going to move up behind Nodder then.
Okay. So you,
Join me, brother.
Sen and Aveline, you watch as the Dragonborn kind of pits down, rushes, jumps across. The same rule as I had going for Nodder when he jumped last session I'm going to give to you. So go ahead and make an athletics check.
Okay. You said athletic, not acrobatic?
Athletics. Okay. So the ground is a bit dusty and the push off at the end of it is a bit wonky, like your foot kind of slides a bit out from under you, but you manage to get the pressure out and leap across the pit and land sufficiently. That's just movement. You still have an action. You're about 15 feet away from the Dragonpriest, and it. If you want to be defensive, you could take the dodge action. If you want to be offensive and you have a javelin or something, you could chuck it at it.
No, you said I'm about 15 feet.
Yep.
So it looks like my longbow can only
You can shoot.
attack up to
You can
5
shoot.
feet.
No. Longbow can shoot 100/400. So if it's within 100 feet, you attack normally. If it's outside of 100 feet, it's disadvantage.
Oh, I can see where it is actually. Okay, on the description it just said up to 2 creatures within 5 feet. So I wasn't sure if that's what that meant, but I see where it says 100. Okay, cool. Yeah, I can go ahead and use my longbow then.
All right.
Did it go?
Peek out behind
Yeah,
the bear, take the shot. It hits square in the creature's chest. Go ahead and click the damage. What you do by just clicking? Yep, okay. Good.
7 piercing.
-7. All right. Kind of sticks into one of the jagged wounds on its chest. All right, Nodder, you're up.
Alright. Am I able to, like, climb up on
You
the
can,
coffin?
you can either climb up onto the coffin like and get adjacent there, or you can diagonally dip downwards and attack at its side.
What? I'll climb up on it.
Okay.
Wait, what, takes action?
No, there's no actions. I'm just saying there's 2 positions available you can move to. Yeah, you can pop up there, no problem.
Take out, like, my battle axe.
Oh, that's part of the attack.
Okay. Then Nodder's taking a short hop onto the casket, and he's gonna wing his.
Okay. That's a crit.
Yeah.
So go ahead and click the damage there.
Oops, I hit it twice.
It's
I mean,
okay. Just the one. So that'll be a total of 16. All right. You hop up onto the casket, kind of standing up face to face with this creature now, because it's kind of in an offset, and you're on the lid or like on the ledge of it, and you kind of bring the axe down into its shoulder, kind of almost standing over it, and drop it down into the coffin onto its knee. You can hear a sickening crack, and you're pretty sure that's bone that you heard twisting underneath, and it kind of like looks up with you with a sense of fear and anguish. All right. Anything else on your turn? Yeah, you could still technically move, but there's nowhere to go, and I don't think you want to rage on this one.
No, I'm good.
All right. Sen.
I can probably hear the commotion, right, from
You-
this
And you
other
can
end.
see it. It's really well
I can see
lit.
it. Okay, cool. So I would like to go to the room.
Mhm.
Does that count? That doesn't count as an action, right?
Well, you'd move up to your speed, which is 30 feet or 6 squares.
Yeah.
And there's a pit in between you and the room that they're in, which
Right.
requires a jump. If you were to dash 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 40. What's your strength score?
0.
Oh, so you have a 10?
Or I guess it's 11.
Yeah. Okay.
Underneath is 11.
So you could jump over the pit. That wouldn't be a problem. You would have to dash to be able to get into the room and stand next to Hero, and that would be your action to run and jump across.
Hmm.
If you have a ranged weapon option, you could attack from across the pit.
I have a short bow that I
Okay.
could use. So
So- Snap out the short bow, move up 5, 10, 30 feet, like so you're closer to the pit ledge, and then just take a shot.
okay. So there, and then short bow,
Hit.
44, and then
It also has an ally adjacent to it, so you will do sneak attack damage.
cool. So 4 and 7.
All right.
4 for snake, 7 for piercing.
So Nodder, you watch as the arrow slams into the creature's head, and it kind of like its eyes kind of roll into the back of its head, and it drops to the ground.
Alright.
Make a perception check. It looks like it's dead.
10.
So you don't really see it happening as it's happening, but as the creature lays there dead for about maybe 1-2 seconds, just like a beat, it snaps back, and you can see the arrow just pop right out of the front of its head, and the troll's hand comes swinging up towards you.
Okay.
Great.
Actually, yeah, it's also going to bite you as well, so here we go. Oh, no, it can only do 1 attack. It is going to bite you, though. No, it's claw. The thing I said first. We're going with the thing I said first. Its big mangled hand comes slashing into your bare flesh. It hits. You definitely feel the claws, which are kind of black, kind of twisted, kind of snap into your skin. You feel one of them break off in your flesh.
Oh.
You take 12 points of slashing damage as it kind of rends into you.
Oh. What did I jack that? Current hit point?
Mm-hmm. Yep, so your current hit points would be reduced by 12.
Oh my god.
And a quick note too: if you select your token, and it brings up 3 little orbs. The red one's hit points. The blue one is your armor class, and the green one is your speed.
Oh.
And you can just enter your hit points there. It'll change the ones on your sheet. Okay, so it is up. It's still kind of like kneeling and down, and kind of trying to get the axe out of its shoulder, and arrows out of its body. But the one in the forehead definitely popped out. All right, that's the Dragonpriest. It'll go to Alenia, who will.
Crazy.
Let's see. She is going to. She needs to be across the way to do anything useful. So she is going to run towards the ledge and jump. She's going to make an athletics check. She happily makes it. She lands kind of right beside Hero. And as she does, she kind of looks at Nodder intensely. You kind of get the sense that she's waiting to get in and be able to heal the bear. Not this turn, though. Aveline?
I'm not gonna jump over the ledge, but I want to go like right up to it,
Okay.
and then could I gain anything from actually like examining the creature
Yeah,
anymore?
if you take typically if you take an action to like kind of scan or analyze a creature, depending on what you're trying to glean, depends on what kind of roll you get. But since this is something that you might kind of be familiar with tangentially, go ahead and make an Arcana check, just for free. So you are aware that this is a troll-blooded creature. Troll-blooded creatures do not die, and the regenerative properties of a troll's blood are superior to most regenerative properties that other creatures who can regenerate themselves exhibit. The one thing that stops that is either acid or fire. If a creature that has this regenerative property is dealt a type of damage that coincides with one of those two, it will not regenerate for a full 6 seconds after.
Okay. Knowing that, I'm gonna go ahead and say, you can't kill it that way. You need to hit it with something like fire.
And you do have an action.
And then I'll go ahead and give it a blast.
What you doing?
Cast Firebolt.
Okay. So, describe how the casting happens, so that Sen has an idea of what they're witnessing as that happens.
So basically, almost like instinctively, her arm just goes up and faces like the troll, and there's like a little hole in her hand that kind of like, what do you call that? Like a camera shutter that like opens up.
Iris.
Yeah, it does that, and then just this like flame just basically flamethrowers out of her hand and towards the troll.
A single mote of fire goes blasting towards the troll, hits it square in the chest, Nodder, as you kind of reel from the claw hand, and you watch as a hole is burst through the troll. Its body just kind of slithers back into the casket of the sarcophagus there. It lies dead and motionless. You spend a couple of moments looking down at it, because you don't trust it. But it does not return to life after that attack.
She says that, I was just like, I can see that now, and then the fire goes through.
But yeah, it lies dead in the casket, defeated.
Hooray.
I'm hurting. I hurt. There's something in here now.
Okay, but yeah, the troll is deceased. The casket is open. The weird green torch that we discussed last session is still in the corner, and apparently the construct you built is Mega Man.
A cute Mega Man. Well, Mega Man's kind of cute.
I'm leaving the table to you. However you want to interact with the environment or yourselves, just let me know.
And as I'm eyeing the casket, I'll slowly shuffle over to Alenia. Ask for some help.
She kind of gives you a knowing look, and she will cast Cure Wounds on you.
Does the thing stay inside when you do this?
She kind of reaches down and kind of removes the bit of dark claw from your side.
Is it gonna leave a 6 scar?
Is it gonna leave a 6 scar? Sin's asking the right questions.
So you get 8 hit points back on the heal.
Ooh.
She
A bit more spry.
holds the claw up to you, as if offering it to you.
I'll take it.
Okay.
Hold on to this.
Yeah. It does seem to have a certain sturdiness to it, despite the brittleness of the edge where it broke. Troll Claw. Just put that on your sheet. Besides, Hero, you're on this side of it. You can see the weird green torch in the corner that burns with a smokeless flame. And you can also see the dead Dragonpriest in its sarcophagus.
Yep, I walk over to the Dragonpriest to examine the body.
Of course. The strange troll creature appears to be wearing kind of ceremonial accoutrement on its belt. It has a ceremonial dagger, but it's ornate and kind of set with gemstones, specifically garnets. Just eyeing it, the dagger might be worth, quite a bit based on the garnets. Size and cut, maybe 125 gold pieces for the dagger. The creature is also wearing 2 silver rings that look like they've been kind of distended a bit by the presumed swelling of the creature. In their current state, maybe worth 15 gold pieces. And an amulet was kind of about the neck and over the robes, which are tattered and torn. But the amulet might be worth about 15 gold pieces as well. If you kind of push the body aside and kind of out onto the lid of it, inside the sarcophagus you see that there's coin kind of littered on the bed of it. And it looks like there is a small wooden box, which looks like it would be a lock box, but it looks like whoever crafted it did not put a lock on it. So it is an openable box. The coin would be about 220 silver pieces. Well, it would be exactly 220 silver pieces. And 50 gold pieces.
I would be reaching out towards the dagger to take that from the body.
Okay. Dagger.
I yell out, careful there.
Ornate ceremonial dagger. And do you reach out for anything else? The box or...
Yes, I'd be carefully reaching towards the box
Okay.
at this point after taking the dagger.
Just kind of jostling the box causes the lid to kind of come loose. It's not a very well made piece, but it doesn't blow up or anything crazy. When you open it up, inside there are 4 rolls of parchment, vellum you presume. If you kind of look at them, you kind of very quickly identify that they appear to be spell scrolls.
Would anyone want to come take a look at this? I found a box inside of the coffin.
Alenia finishes with Nodder and kind of walks over to take a look at them, and basically quickly reads them over and says, they're spell scrolls. Cure, inflict, this one here is command, and this one is identify. The Cure Wounds spell seems to be of a higher level than I'm typically capable of casting, but I believe I can cast it from this scroll. She looks across the pit over to Aveline, curious. after the conditions of the fight. This freaking cat.
Well, I definitely say we.
Love to
I
be
definitely
outside.
say we hold on to the scrolls, but someone else may want to carry those with them, who's more capable.
Alenia will take the box and scrolls and set them into her bag if nobody argues.
Okay. Can I hop the pit?
Yeah, you kind of back up a bit.
Double.
Do I need to roll for
Enough
anything?
people have treaded the ground that the cause of it, the dirt slippage, is no longer a problem.
Maybe.
Okay. I'd like to jump the pit and then inspect the troll for myself.
Yeah, you'd see the remaining things that haven't been picked up, which would be the 2 silver rings, 15 gold pieces apiece, silver amulet, 220 silver pieces, 50 gold pieces.
I take the rings
Okay.
and that's it right now.
Yeah, they definitely look like the hands that they were on were not meant for them.
Okay, but I can easily take them off.
Yeah. Well, it requires a little bit of chopping, but yeah.
Yeah. I've got a dagger, so I can easily
Pop
just
the
cut 'em
digits off. Yeah.
I could pass you a claw.
Uh,
I could pass you a claw too if you need it.
oh, I got a dagger.
That is cat
And
butt.
supposedly I have 2 claws now. If I had
Yes.
to cut them off.
Yes, you would have 2
Do you want the claws?
digits.
No, I just want this one because this one's the one that got me.
Oh, okay. A trophy.
A remembrance, a memento. Um,
What's that phrase? Poison the-
That cat's
Make that
so
bitch here or whatever.
the let's see, the torch in the corner, like I said, has a greenish light to it, and it doesn't seem to be emanating any smoke.
I guess I'll inspect that.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna be able to look at
So
like that.
you're pretty familiar with the type of magic that's utilized here. The spell that's used to make one of these pieces is called Continual Flame, and basically the magic creates an ever-burning torch, torch that can always generate light but does not generate heat. You want to scoop that up?
Yeah.
Okay. You have a ever-burning torch,
Sweet.
and I will get rid of the one glowing in the corner.
Oh.
It's me.
Do I need to write that in?
Yeah, I didn't know where to write
All right,
either.
What?
come quick. Look.
Oh.
Sarah!
Bye.
She can't hear you. You're on headphones. They say hi.
He's so fucking cute. I can't deal. Oh my gosh.
Anywho, what a hamburger.
A big ol' ham.
Hamburger. Okay, so anyways, sorry, back on track. Nodder, is there anything that you want to collect or remaining? It's just a silver amulet, which is kind of like a ornate kind of holy symbol almost, and then there's a bunch of coin in the bottom of the bucket.
I mean,
Stephanie's just like trying not to laugh the whole time.
Laura notices that Stephanie's trying to keep in her laugh and is laughing about it.
Well, and then I heard you laughing, and it was like making me laugh more.
Oh my god.
It's a vertigo chamber of laughter.
I will very much collect the coin
Okay.
and the amulet.
It takes a little while to scoop up all the coin, and it does kind of have. I don't know if you've ever had coins sitting in like something for a long time.
For like a really long time. It's got
Yeah,
weird.
it's got like a patina to it on the silver particularly, and you notice that these coins seem to be of the same make as the coins you found back on the skeletons. They're older coins. They're not like newer mint coins for the Aussie Bale. they are old kind of dragon marked coins.
Oh, this could help me. Be worth some.
But yeah, 220 silver pieces and 50 gold.
Holy shit.
And then the amulet is worth about 15.
Oh. I really eye this troll.
All right, it is very dead. It looks like the center portion of it is burnt out. It does look like the wounds outside of that center portion look like they are still kind of regenerating, but it looks like since the core of it has been blasted through, the troll itself is not moving or doing anything.
I poke at this coffin, check it out a bit more.
Yeah, it pretty much it has been scoured of all of its contents. Yeah.
All right.
Alenia kind of, as you're investigating, kind of hops across and lands next to Aveline, gives you a sidewise look and says, "Were you made to do that, or do you just know how to?"
Start fights?
Alenia doesn't seem like she's being... Like, she's been pretty plucky so far and kind of, like, let's go, kind of. But she's kind of, at this point, seems to be a bit more curious and inquisitive.
Honestly, I couldn't tell you.
Can you make any sense of this? And she hands you a scroll.
What's the scroll?
It's a scroll of Identify. Identify is on an Artificer spellcasting list, so it makes perfect sense to you, and you could cast it from the scroll if you wish.
Oh yeah, I can read this.
Keep a hold of that. How about this one? And she hands you another scroll. This one has Cure Wounds on it, which is another spell on the Artificer list, which you can cast.
And this one makes sense as well.
You hold on to those two. I don't think you have the ability to cast these two, so I'll hold on to them. Fair?
That sounds okay.
Cat battle.
Who will be the biggest ham?
I guess
It's Gwen.
His
He's
boy.
a twin. Hi,
It's-
twin.
She's so pretty.
This guy.
Pretty gay ham.
I got ham.
Oh, there's our winner.
Oh, that's real
I
ham.
Battle of the hams.
There doesn't appear to be much besides what you have identified being present here, and this does look like a dead end.
The Hercule kids aren't here.
No dead
What's the
bodies.
gur?
Well, remember, back at the tower spot, there was another doorway that
Yeah.
led away from the tower.
Let's go to that.
Alright.
I want to jump back across.
If you all want to just gather in like a tight group, I'll grab you and move you to the tower, and we can go from there.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I think Aveline for the saving shot could have gone down.
And then if
She's
you,
just gonna stare blankly at you, like, okay.
I should snap you to there. Did it snap?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. My skills are amazing.
And this door, it was easily openable, right?
Yeah, this one was the one that was unlocked compared to the one that was down here locked. Looking at it a little bit more keen-eyed this go around, you do notice that there are some markings in the Draconic alphabet that are very light around the door handle. They seem to be kind of something written out.
Okay, I can read Draconic, so
It
I
would-
think.
It would say, if you can read Draconic, servants of Calcrix only. Others, danger, beware. Turn about, turn away.
So, do we want to? So I repeat that to everyone. Would we like to go in?
If that's where the Hercule kids are, and Sir, I forget his last name.
Hucriel. but I every time you say it, I'm just imagining Mr. Satan.
Okay.
Satan, whatever.
I'm skeptical of this one because it's unlocked. Can I inspect it?
Yeah.
Or-
No need to roll. It is definitely untrapped.
Okay, cool. Then
Yeah.
I open the door.
Okay. It opens into a 10-foot wide hallway that kind of has a wall that you're adjacent to, kind of angled to match the shape of the tower. It looks like it's an internal hallway that leads down to a end of the hallway with 3 doors. One on the southern wall to your left, one directly in front of you, and one on the northern wall to your right. Quiet, still as the grave.
Great.
Not covered in dust though.
So
Definitely,
it's been
it definitely looks like it's
used.
traveled. Yeah.
Okay, so I
Ventilated.
think they've definitely gone this way.
All right.
So I'm gonna move in.
Okay. So there are 3 doors. Is there anyone you want to kind of investigate first?
Let's do this southern door.
Left is always the way to go. Upon getting close to it, you kind of hear a strange sound coming from it. It sounds like burbling water. It almost sounds like you're listening to like a river on the other side of the door. The door itself is wood, unlike the stone exterior doors and the stone doors in the Hall of the Dragonpriest. The wood is reinforced with wrought iron. It looks like the wood has actually swollen in its framing, which seems to have kind of locked it a bit into its frame. Normally, if you wanted to, you could check under the door and kind of check to the sides to see if you can see if it's locked or what mechanism is locking it. But since it's been pushed outwards, it basically has kind of settled inside of its door frame, and it's kind of bulged a bit within.
Sounds like my apartment door.
Is it in character or out of character?
Out
He
of
has
character.
You
Both?
have natural insight into this door.
It's so hard to open our door on rainy days. I kid you not. Okay, so that one's clearly very damp.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check this one, the northern door.
Listening to it, it's still. Door-wise, it appears to be shuttered on this side. It looks like someone has taken the time and effort to nail 2 small planks of wood across where the door handle would be on this side, so that the door doesn't seem to be openable. Make an investigation check.
Okay. 13.
Yeah, you very, very quickly realize that whoever did this is not too bright, because the door opens inwards, not outwards. So if you were to push hard enough, you can basically separate the nails from the wood, because that wouldn't be too hard. But it appears that someone has intentionally tried to shutter this door poorly in an
But
attempt to
intentionally.
keep something in there.
How about we investigate the western door?
All right. Moving over to it, go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Okay. 14.
You hear the following.
So someone's sleeping in here. Sounds like.
It sounds like one creature specifically. Yeah.
One. Okay. Let's see.
This door appears to be unlocked from what you can tell, and it looks like it opens inward, so you would be able to kind of reach into it if you wanted to.
Okay. is there a way that I could? Is there like a keyhole or anything that I could look in and see if there's a way to look in?
Not so
way?
much on this one, no. If you wanted to kind of just slowly open the door and kind of peek through, you could probably manage that, but it'll be a stealth check for you to do so, and it might be dark on the other side. If you don't have dark
Right.
vision or a light source, and light source will obviously draw attention to you,
Right.
it could be bad. But if you have someone who can see in the dark,
Can anyone see in the dark?
Alenia nods her head.
And you take a peek?
Sure.
You left them in the dark.
Sure. If you want to try opening it quietly, I'm not very good at that.
Okay.
I'll just look and see what I can see.
So, should I use
Stealth.
stealth?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 23.
You very narrowly open it, and Alenia kind of peeks in and then kind of leans back. And as she does so, she looks at you, waiting for you to close the door. Slowly replace it, and she says, "There's a kobold sleeping on the other side. It looks like there's a cage and some other doors. And I think it might be a fire pit."
Well, okay.
But just the one kobold, and it's sleeping directly across the way.
Interesting. Okay. Were you able to see how asleep he was, or tell?
Yeah, it appeared very, very asleep.
Um. I suppose breaking in and surprising him would be an option.
If there are reinforcements behind any of the doors I saw, then it could lead to us being engaged in a battle at that point. If you or anyone else who's quiet want to sneak up on the kobold and extract him by force, that might prove a better idea.
It seems like we're in a situation where we can get rid of at least one of our foes without alerting the others. Let's say there are reinforcements on the other doors. Likewise, we wouldn't want to barge in. We know the threat in this one and that it's asleep. I say we try to dispatch it quietly.
Do we know for sure that this is our enemy, though?
Oh, that is a good question.
So real quick note for you. Again, I don't know how familiar with Dungeons and Dragons lore you are, Mike, but kobolds are lesser dragonborn. Effectively, they're like the halfling to dragonborn, and so they kind of operate similarly to goblins in most respects, especially to towns filled with heroic adventurer types of the common races, because butchering dragon people's fine. But that might not be something you're terribly kosher with, but from what you can understand, they do serve a bad dragon. So, again, just want to make sure that that's on the table.
Yeah, that's kind of been my mindset on that and everything. Is
Bad dragon.
They're specific serving and where they are and what they're doing, and the fact that we have cages and people being captured.
Cool. Absolutely not going to tell you how to play your character. Just want to make sure all the information's out there. That said, ambushing him, stealth killing him, all options. Dragging him back and interrogating him.
I recommend someone that's not me grab this guy.
Fair.
I don't think I can do it quietly.
Everyone recommends
worry
that the
about
bear
reinforcement.
just take a couple of steps back.
You stay here. I'll at least go. Do we want to take him alive and question him, or do we just want to?
Well, I'm curious if he can be honest, or if they can be honest, if they know where our party that we're hunting for is.
If we can assure he'll remain quiet as we remove him, then I'm for that as well. But That's if we can remove him quietly.
One thing for sure you know about kobolds is they have long snouts, which can easily be muzzled with a belt or a rope.
Or a bear paw.
Or a bear paw. But the bear probably is not going to be in the stealth operation to muzzle said kobold.
Again, you stay here. So the quieter of us go.
I'm gonna actually kind of go up to you a little bit and just say, do you require assistance?
Yes, I require careful, quiet assistance.
That can be a combination.
Great. Now I do have a rope, so I could use that on the muzzle. Is that what you would call it?
Yeah.
Okay. The snoot.
The snoot.
The snoot.
The snoot.
So can use that, and then
If I can make a suggestion about how we go about this.
yeah.
We create a slip knot. You stealthier folk can walk in, get it around his snout, and I will be holding on to the other side. As soon as you go, give me the thumbs up, and I pull. You pull him out of the door. Bear grabs him. We go into the other room.
That sounds like a good plan. Let's see. Now I do have sneak attack, but that wouldn't be.
That's for killing. If you wanted to,
Yeah.
if you wanted to butcher him,
Right.
you would be the best person to do it.
I'm Larry to make him write out his messages. Terrible.
Yeah.
Does anyone read guts?
There is a spell called Augury that does just that. Says the priestess.
But we don't have it.
Yeah, she does not have it.
Dang, useless.
Hey, Melissa. I'm not that high level yet. I can't help it. I'm just an elf girl.
Eventually. Let's see. I think that's all. Okay, I guess I'll just, or we can just sneak in.
I just saw your cat. Oh, what that cat? Anywho, my cat can see your cat and is looking at your cat intensely.
Aww.
Anywho, sorry. So,
Flirting.
are you two going to enter in stealthily and attempt to loot the snoot and then drag
Yes.
the kobold back to Beartown?
Yes.
Okay.
Drag him back to Beartown.
So because you are moving together in unison,
Okay.
go ahead and make stealth checks. But another thing too is because the creature is asleep and you're moving in unison with an intended goal, go ahead and make that stealth check with advantage. So when you roll it, pick the higher of the two dice, and that's the one you're getting.
Great.
Good thing about
Wow.
that. Good thing about that advantage.
Yeah.
I got 2 10s.
All right. So as you're kind of moving into the chamber, Sen, you managed to get up to. Oh, sorry. Before you move, which one of you two had the news? Okay.
I did.
As you're moving in, Sen, you managed to get up to this creature pretty quickly. Aveline becomes slightly distracted and doesn't see the altar as it's a bit lower, and you hear kind of a metal kind of bump as she kind of dings her leg against the side of it. The creature in the bed kind of looks up at you with surprised eyes. Make a acrobatics or athletics check, your choice, to try and wring the snoot.
Acrobatics. 25.
Immediately slapping down and like probably hand over your shoulder, thumb, and then snap. You hear a as the creature starts squirming. It doesn't seem to have any weapons, But you manage to kind of get to it, and Aveline move over to it as well as you kind of drag it back to the hallway. Are you moving back into the tower room with the kobold?
Yeah, maybe go.
All the way back to the tower room?
So all the way back.
Okay. All right. You see that Aveline stays at the door for a second as everyone passes back through, and she just carefully closes the door behind her and then moves into the hallway and stands in a position inside of the door frame, looking in on the action that you're about to engage in and also keeping an eye on the door.
Smart.
All right. So, Nodder and Hero, you have this little kobold who is just, at the beginning, was moving a lot, trying to elude, and then very quickly resigned its position in this world, and has stopped squirming.
I got him almost in what is very close to a full bear hug.
It's a bear hug. So you've got the kobold. It can't really talk or anything. It doesn't seem to be struggling. It does seem to be whimpering a bit inside of its muzzle.
Well, I mean, we'll take the muzzle off now.
Who are you?
We're looking for a certain party, but who are you?
You notice that the creature's mainly focusing on Hero. I'm Meepo. I'm Meepo. I'm the dragon shield of Calcrix. Yeah.
That cat. I can't get over that. I am no one of any specific importance. We are here to perform a specific task, and we found you asleep on the job, wanting to know what is up ahead.
The council. Did they send you from the Dragonlands? Calcrix has been taken.
We are not part of any kind of council. We are here on a completely separate mission of our own will.
Our dragon, Calcrix, has been taken. I am the keeper of dragons, but I failed. Meepo failed. They took him. They took our dragon. You weren't sent here by the dragon lords to help.
So bad.
It's a little sob story. No.
Madeline.
And the butt.
Little bunny tail.
Little
Yeah.
nugget. Little chicken nugget. I'm gonna eat it.
That's what the kobold's saying. The wretched goblins stole the dragon.
We are not from any kind of council, and we are not here to help with that. However, if we are able to get through what we are doing, perhaps we can help out for compensation in the future. I do not know what you've been through or what has gone on here other than what we are looking for.
Our clan's dragon was... Well, we lost it. The goblins stole it. We stole it, the goblins. We have some of them. But... It's Meepo's fault that the dragon is gone, you see. I was keeper of the dragons. The dragon scale of Calcrix. Pulls
Fuck up, Meepo.
pulls out of his pocket this shard of what appears to be kind of chitin or something, but Hero, you recognize it as a dragon's scale, a white dragon scale. Not very big, probably off of a wormling, but white in coloration. And you would presume that if goblins are able to abscond with this dragon, it's probably not very big.
Well, Meepo, goblins are in our way.
What's in the other two doors?
Exactly what I was gonna ask.
I mean,
So, if you can tell-
Meepo does not know. I am told that we were to keep the doors closed. Our water comes from there. Gestures to the I mean, it mentions the door at the left. The weird river door.
Why do you know why the other door is barred? Even though it's not done very well.
It happened after the after the dragon was taken. Well, a long time ago, a man came down here and he was angry with the kobolds, and Eustrail said to kill him. So we did, and we threw him in that room. We were told not to eat him because he was filled with evil magics, and then we started seeing things grow in him, and so we shut the doors.
How many weeks ago?
A few months ago. No. Hold on. 10 moons.
Okay, so longer than the people we're looking for have been missing.
He came with the one that the goblins serve. He came with Belak. Belak, his name. Yes.
Do you know why the goblins would want the dragon? What would they have to do with a dragon to kidnap?
They, I think, are going to sacrifice it to the tree.
What tree?
But that's only what I've overheard Eustrail say. Meepo would know very little of this, but Eustrail knows much. If you wish, Meepo can take you to Eustrail. Maybe if you promise to rescue Dragon, Eustrail make nice with you. And if you don't kill kobolds, maybe we no try to kill you.
We don't need to kill you if you're not going to try to attack us, but we don't promise to help with anything. But we would like to speak with this person.
I can take you to Eustrail. Meepo's weapons were taken from him, as well as his shield, for his failure. But if you will help me rescue the dragon, maybe Eustrail will give me my weapons back, and I can help you. Okay, let's go see Eustrail then. He gets up if nobody stops him.
I mean, I'm still holding him.
Oh, he kind of like, you know, like a dog who wants to go somewhere, like points the head in that direction.
I kind of like paw his ears and eyes, and I look over to Hero and like, how much do you trust this dragon that they serve? You know, how much do you know of this dragon lord?
You know, David, that would be a great question if I knew more about D&D
I mean, I
lore,
know, but I mean,
Well, real quick,
but like he can feed you info that you.
real quick, what we've covered in the past, and I put it in the lore section. The dragon lord that this building appears to have been created for is a dragon lord named Ashmedea, and Ashmedea caused a lot of trouble for people a while ago, burning the countryside before being defeated by some heroes. That was 100 or so years ago. The Council of Worms, which is to the west a bit, is like the main source of political power for. Okay, Kat, seriously, hold on. He keeps pushing his head against the monitor and pushing everything aside.
Oh no.
I can't have you right now. No, you're too cute. So, that said, the dragons kind of have like a political power, but they don't try and do things that affect the world outside of their own area. And dragons who do that are called renegades. If dragons are allowed to live in peace and control their own territories, then they're fine. Most people will respect the territory of a dragon because they don't want to be eaten by a dragon and they don't want their wealth and riches to be put into the hoard of a dragon. young dragons try and make it out on the frontier, and some of them get lucky enough to find followers, dragonborn, kobolds, dragon priests, the like, and they survive. And then some other ones don't. So that's just dragon lore. What a dragon wants more than anything is to have a large territory, a bunch of wealth to sleep on, and that's it. That's what dragons want. So these kobolds sound like they are part of this young dragon's cell, and they appear to be living in tandem with goblins within this dungeon complex. And the goblins have stolen the dragon, possibly already done away with the dragon, if it happened a while ago.
I give Hero a little nod. I let Meepo go. Like,
I still have a rope. We could use it as a leash.
Oh.
I looks over at you. I'm small and I am not as fast as you. If I were to try to run away, you would know. And
I will also say, Sin, that if we enter into any kind of room with others, with one of theirs on a leash, it may not look so great if we're trying to make allies.
Fair.
it is true what they say of the blue ones. You are wise.
I also have plenty of lightning to go around if you do make a run for it, so keep that in mind as well, however.
I will not try and run. I will serve you who has never been named.
And I was over your marker the whole time?
Yeah.
We lost one.
Stephanie exploded.
You disappeared.
Mini chips.
So, strange enough, everybody but Elizabeth got shifted into different squares on the stream. That's fine. That'll just be the way it is right now. That's new normal. As you're heading back that way, again, Meepo seems to be willing to lead you, but doesn't seem to be willing to move too far beyond you, and is every so often looking back over his shoulder as if he is, fully aware that if he tries to get too far ahead of you, there'd be problems. Do you want to investigate any of the doors before moving on?
Real quick, you guys can continue investigating. I'm going to use the restroom real fast.
Okay.
For like 1 minute.
Alright. I mean, if we're concerned about, like, there being hostiles behind the door, I was like, there's at least one possible hostile behind this door.
From what you were told, it's a dead body and something was growing on it.
But we don't know what.
And I'm scared of things that grow because one stabbed me and I got an arm out of it.
I mean, if you want to look in there, it won't be hard to just push the door open.
Would it make noise, though?
Again, noise doesn't seem like it'll be a problem besides what's in that door, now that you have Meepo with you. If
Okay.
kobolds come running, then Meepo will probably stand up for you all.
Oh.
Okay. Then I guess I'll crack the door
I'll
and
do a barrel roll.
Kind of
little peeky.
use the pommel of your dagger to kind of push open the nails that have been kind of hammered to it. And you're opening the door that was boarded shut, right?
Yes.
Pushing it open, you see that the room has basically become stale. You don't really reach in and smell or anything, but it just has a certain kind of wafty dryness that comes out of it. And you can see that in the back left corner there appears to be a mass of vegetation. It, on closer inspection, looks like this. What appears to be kind of fungus and spores that have kind of grown up around a body, which is holding what appears to be a very nice looking sword.
Hey.
Ooh, that's tempting.
I was like in a barrel roll stance, and then I saw the sword. I was like, hey, that's pretty.
So go ahead and make me Just make me a history check, either one of you, or both.
You don't want mine.
Okay. You're not terribly familiar with that natural one. You're not terribly familiar with the nature of fungus. But a 14, David will tell you that you are familiar with spores and funguses. This appears to be a mold, a yellow mold, which can be very deadly if it's ingested or breathed in. You know that disturbing the spores may cause them to erupt. So if someone were to go in there and just take the sword, and they were someone who breathed, they would be affected by the spores more than likely.
We have to be dead.
Well, you have to be somebody who doesn't have to breathe.
Or can you kill the spores with fire?
Only we had someone that didn't breathe or used fire.
I mean,
You could
I'm just saying.
You could burn it.
We
have
have
a party member who does both.
We have a person. Yeah, we have a party member who does both. They don't breathe. They can shoot fire. Just saying, we can kill two birds with one stone.
Sorry, my internet
And
dropped.
get a sword.
Are we like metagaming right now, or are we?
So, real quick, what you missed is they befriended the kobold. They're super best friends with him now. And then they went to the door, which was sealed and boarded shut. They opened it, and inside is kind of dry in there. And in the back corner, there's a dead body covered with fungus and spores, and it's holding a sword that looks really nice. And what Nodder was able to determine is that if someone were to move around that area, the yellow mold that is on that dead body would erupt from it, potentially, and anybody who breathes might ingest it or inhale it, and it will cause serious problems for them respiratorily.
So essentially, I announce this out loud and look in...
Yeah, and then Sen said that we could try to burn it, and then Sen looked over in your direction as well.
And I looked at Aveline's direction and I was like, we can't breathe it, but it can burn. And then Sen...
Well, what do you wish for me to do?
You want to burn something?
If we could,
That could be entertaining.
we have a sword there.
We can get a sword out of
Cool.
it.
Okay, just let me know what you want to do.
Or you can just go get the sword since you...
Yeah, I feel like you could just go in there and go get the sword.
That's also a thing.
Maybe a little less conspicuous.
Okay. If you walk in and you reach down, grab a hold of the sword from the skeleton hand, it breaks apart. Yellow mold kind of puffs up around you for a couple of seconds and then slowly starts to descend down. Because you do not require breathing, you don't breathe, and it doesn't seem to affect you. The sword you hold in your hand, you very quickly identify as being magical through your eyes, and notate that the arcane nature of it, it appears to have been crafted by draconic smiths. It looks very similar to a sword that would have been kept by... And then you kind of blink for a second. Like, the sword seems familiar.
Just gonna kind of wander back, like, kind of like holding it like a child, basically.
Question. Does the mold stick to her?
Yeah.
No. So
That's what I was also...
Okay.
it kind of lingers and
Because
kind
that
of...
happens.
Yeah, it kind of brushes off. It seems that most of the expulsion kind of remained in the room. If anybody else were to go in there now at this point, would probably have to deal with it as it kind of floats around in the air. But she seems to be clean enough. Sword.
Sword in hand.
Nice.
It is a long sword.
Oh my god.
Anyone make good use of this? Who understands these runes?
Well, does it have any runes on it? She just recognized that it's of draconic make because she has...
Oh, I actually don't know this information.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, that's her eyes only kind of deal because of her character. But yeah. It does appear to be, again, to you, Aveline, arcane in nature. It seems to be enchanted in some way. So, For those who are curious, a longsword statistically is identical to a battle axe. It just looks different. It's also the same as a longsword, if you had a longsword beforehand.
You're saying it does a lot of damage.
D8 or D10, depending on how you wield it.
That's a lot of damage.
Plus whatever the magic is.
For one sec, because I can't.
I would reach a paw out and be like, I feel like I could do some damage with it.
So, quick note for the spellcaster. For you to understand the properties of the weapon, you'll need to cast the spell Identify. You have a scroll of Identify, which was given to you by the Troll Priest. And I believe you should also have the spell Identify on your spell list. But yeah.
Go ahead and do that.
Okay. Using the scroll, or do you have it on your spell list?
It's actually on the list.
Okay, cool. So then you'll just cast it from that. So that'll be one of your... you can cast it as a ritual. So you'll spend about 10 minutes casting it. It doesn't waste one of your spell slots.
Gotcha.
She basically spends some time with the item. And then hands it over to whoever's getting it, and you would identify it as being a vicious longsword. The vicious trait states that when you roll a critical hit with it, it deals an extra d12 damage.
That's nuts.
I know my way around a sword. I have 2 already of the very normal variety.
Oh.
And just like stiff arm hands it out to you.
I was standing here the whole time.
Bear paw. Dragon gets it.
Fine.
So statistically, it won't change anything for your longsword characteristic, except that it will crit. When you do crit, it'll do an extra d12, and it is a magic weapon. So if you're attacking something that resists normal weaponry, it will bypass that resistance.
Okay. Do I have to list it as anything specific on my item list, or?
If you want the simple method, you can go up into the top right. There's like a little the letter I in like a black circle. If you type longsword, it should bring up a list of different ones. You should see vicious longsword as one of the options.
Oh, nice.
Then drag that over to your character sheet and drop it, and it should do all the mechanical nonsense for you.
Yeah, I also didn't know where to type in that I have this claw on me now.
Oh, sure. So that's not something you're going to be able to pull because it's a bit more niche. So what you can do is
type it into my notepad.
What you can do to put it on your character sheet is at the very bottom of your item list, you should see a little plus button.
Oh, item list. I gotcha.
If you press the plus button, it'll give you a blank, and then you can fill it in.
Perfect.
That's what I did for that ornate dagger.
Yep, that ornate dagger would be non-magical.
I feel like Sen got some too. Or
Yeah, I got the 2 rings and the burning torch.
Yep, the ever-burning torch might be on the compendium. I don't know for sure. I just know that the spell Continual Flame creates them. That's it. The other door, it appears like it might be a little bit more tricky to open, but if you want to do so, you can. It sounds like water on the other side.
Right.
And Meepo said that that's where they get their water from, but it doesn't look like the door would be openable by a kobold. It's going to require one of your strong boys to smash that door with their shoulder to get it open.
I also worry about flooding. I mean, just because the door is super wet.
Yeah, well...
And, like, thick.
You'd be able to tell with listening that it doesn't sound like water is holding against the door. It's not like it's not like Titanic mode or anything. What it seems like is the room inside is saturated because of some water kind of being present in a probably tight space. and over time causing the door to swell.
So it is like my apartment door in real life.
It is exactly your apartment door. When you break open, it's just going to be into your apartment.
Well, it's actually the one into the building, not my specific apartment door. I would have fixed that personally if I could, or if it was. I guess, can one of our big strong boys come break this?
Do a barrel roll? Oh, absolutely.
A barrel roll.
A barrel roll.
But I gotta roll. I'll roll anything. I'll do it.
Okay, go ahead and make an athletics check. If anybody has a crowbar, they can hand it over to him for him to use as like a leverage point. But it definitely feels like it opens out towards the bear, not in towards the room. It's going to be more of a prying than a slamming. Did anybody want to hand him a crowbar?
Doesn't the thieves pack come with a crowbar?
I believe burglar set does, yeah.
Oh, I have thieves tools.
Yeah, thieves tools.
I do have a crowbar.
Okay. Aveline produces a crowbar from seemingly nowhere. Out of her apron,
Inspector
probably.
Gadget.
And if you use the crowbar to assist you, Nodder, do you?
Oh, I mean, I throw my shoulder into it once because I'm not thinking about like which way this door opens.
Well, just using the same athletics check, we'll go ahead and say the 21 because the crowbar would give you advantage. You get the crowbar.
And then I grab the crowbar. Yeah.
You kind of get the crowbar in between two parts of wood to kind of get you a hold and pull, and then once it's got like a little bit of a niche open on the side, get that in there and start pry barring it open, and it pops open. Inside is a small 10-foot room. And it looks like there are a number of iron pipes that go out from what appears to be kind of a almost like a water heater, except more steampunky. And all the pipes kind of extend out into the walls around it. The water sound is very, very noticeably coming from whatever that thing is.
A boiler.
And there are a bunch of arcane markings around the exterior of the boiler.
We're in.
Can we tell what those markings are, or?
It would require an Arcana check for someone to kind of figure it out. If someone speaks Draconic, they can make this check untrained.
Hero.
I got it. Don't worry.
Is there something in here?
I clearly can't read this. I need some help.
It looks like it's
We need a hero.
a big barrel of a thing with pipes going out into the walls, and it seems like there's a water sound coming from it. And there's arcane markings on the this water cache.
I look at it, trying to figure out what is on there.
Okay, so give me an Arcana roll. It'll be
15.
Okay, good enough. They seem to be elemental in nature, specifically focused on water, the freezing of water and the burning of water. But from what you can tell from these markings, they appear to be binding marks. So something of an elemental nature appears to be bound within this rusty keg.
These are binding markings. There's something inside of here that's being prevented to escape.
What's trapped in there?
There's also a wide metallic bung on the keg's top that's not connected to any of the pipes. And that could potentially be opened. But it feels like opening it or staving it in the side are the two only methods of entry into the keg itself. But it seems like whatever's inside is being bound into it.
But you think someone's trapped in there?
I don't know if it necessarily has to be someone, but there is something trapped in there.
Do we think it would be helpful to release it?
Meepo says, "That's where the water comes from. Everywhere in the castle, everybody gets the water from here."
Well, if there's something distributing the water, like a water element,
Eustriel
elemental.
knows
They would-
the magics. Meepo does not know the magics.
But if it was a water elemental, they would be able to see what's going on within the castle, right?
Meepo.
And
Never heard
everyone
of it.
else.
I'm getting serious, like Jar Jar Binks meets Mickey Mouse right now.
I'm trying to go for it's actually Winnie the Pooh, but
Winnie the Pooh.
I don't think it's apparently not coming off right. But yeah, he says, Meepo, we could go ask Eustriel. I've never heard of a elemental before.
I'll ask Sen about like what is an elemental, or I
I
guess
mean, they're
Do I know what elemental
element spirits.
but something's alive in there. I don't want to, not right. Let's get right with me here.
Some things that are considered to be alive are not really alive. Trees. Trees. You know trees.
I start reaching up towards this handle.
And
Do you want to open it?
Yeah, I'm opening.
I
it.
would.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not doing it quickly. I'm slowly reaching up because I'm starting to have doubts about what's inside of here.
Anybody stopping him?
I quickly reach out and grab his hand. We have more to find here in this place, and the last thing I want to do is anger anyone here when we could get information. If it is something of concern, we can come back later.
I don't like the idea of someone suffering inside that tank.
You hear Draconic outside Meepo going, "So wise. He's so wise."
of
kind of
course you would think.
walking towards the door waiting for you.
If it's been suffering all this time, it can suffer for a little bit longer. Last thing I want is for us to be suffering and it's suffering.
Fair.
What can I perceive about this tank?
The things that I've told you.
Dang. I have nothing more to go on. It's just a hunch.
And
We
that
can come back later.
I'm willing to let it. I can let it
Nodder,
slip.
we will come back. You've been with
okay.
me longer than anyone else. We will come back because
Alright.
you want. I understand.
you're pretty
As long as we
confident.
don't die.
You're pretty confident in your ability, Nodder, too, that you could probably open that
I
thing.
could probably just keep going.
But I'm just saying you could potentially open it when it comes time to do that. Meepo leads you along before he kind of makes it to his altar and kind of moving into that room. He looks back over to Hero and in Draconic he says, "I will be saying something as we go to make sure that they know it's me, and not to come out and attack and ambush. The catchphrase is." Ticklecorn! If I say that, they won't attack us. And you kind of are looking at him. You can make an insight check to see if he's trying to deceive you or not. But you're pretty sure.
Yes. I want to do that.
Okay.
Who,
So-
who would lie about that?
Click on
Ticklecorn.
insight
Safe word.
to
I'm
see.
gonna do that real quick.
You're pretty certain he's telling you 100% the truth. As he's kind of saying it, he gestures off to the side and kind of like this area here. And based on just that gesturing, you presume that behind that door are kobolds lying in wait, prepared to jump out and help if necessary. But he doesn't move towards there. He moves towards this hallway here, leading you along. And as he's moving up that way, he says, "Ticklecorn!" in Draconic.
Cool.
Everyone prepare to be surprised, but do not attack.
He immediately enters into this hallway and then kind of takes a right turn. Again, moving slowly, looking over his shoulder, and he looks off to the left side and he goes like this over his face and yells, "Tickle corn!" down the hallway. You kind of hear, "Tickle corn, tickle corn, tickle corn." And then those who are like right behind Meepo hear and reply,
What is this failure doing?
in Draconic.
Why you come out of your bed in shame?
Tickle corn! Meepo says as he comes up towards this position here. As you move up behind him, you see that you're entering into a 20-foot high ceilinged and kind of like a vaulted ceiling hall with pillars that run the length of the hall. The pillars go all the way up to just about where the ceiling starts to vault, kind of eck out in kind of a buttressed setup on the side walls. It looks like there are no lights present here. It does look like there's a lot of draconic markings over old stylized etchings. It looks like whatever was originally on these pillars and on the ceiling and on the walls has long since kind of faded away, and it looks like less skilled hands have tried to recreate that glory. Meepo continues walking down the hall, and you can hear the sound of scuffling and then the sound of clanging, which sounds to you, Hero, like blade on shield. And as you kind of get closer, you can see up ahead that at the end of this hall is a throne made of stone. Sitting upon it is a female kobold in kind of white robes, kind of sitting there looking directly at Meepo as he approaches, and also the company he's keeping. And there are 3 kobolds kind of out in front of her that have white dragon scale shields and kind of gnarled looking sickled blades in their hands, which was the source of the banging. As you kind of approach, they lower themselves down so that only the shield is kind of seen and settle the swords on top. And then you see Eustrel's hand kind of go like this, and they kind of settle back into a not defensive posture. Meepo looks to her.
Eustrel, these ones did not kill Meepo. And, this one says,
gesturing to Hero,
he will rescue Calcrix.
Eustrel says,
Silence! I will have no more talk with you. I will talk to this blue one. Who has sent you here? The humans? The goblins? Nor the dragons?
We have come here solely for a job. We were looking for some adventurers that got lost, and nothing more.
Humans. Then, the ones that came most recently, or the ones that came long ago? Which ones do you seek? They have passed through Eustrel's domain.
The ones who came more recently.
The nice ones. Good.
Meepo looks up to you, nodding.
About the time when the dragon was taken. Probably in retribution for us helping these ones. Okay. What do you wish to know about them? They went into the goblin lands, deep beneath, to the trees.
So they're already past this area?
Long since, yes. I assume that they are dead.
Well, we'll be the ones to find out for that.
Of course.
What can you tell us about what happened with the goblins and you?
We have been fighting much. Luckily, Eustrel is smart and cunning, as are her kobolds. And the servants of Calcrix have made many a trap that they have not been able to figure out. Stupid goblins. I don't like them. They serve another master. They are not serving their own kind. They serve some man creature named Balak. Balak! The one who grows the trees.
I may be in a position to help you with your situation. All I need is information about where this Balak resides.
Balak resides below. The only way to descend into the trees is through the goblins to the north. The ones you seek, they went first to the land of the rats, and they returned here missing one of their number. And I told them they could rest here, and so they did. Then they traveled past the domain of Eustrail into the domain of the Greenskins, and they have not returned since. Shortly after they left, goblins came in the darkness from above, snuck in our back ways, and Meepo wasn't able to stop them, and they took Alcrix from her cage, her domain. And so, yes, I assume it was because of them, but since we have nothing left to lose, it's no bother helping you. If you are chasing after the lot of them, they went that way. And she gestures towards the far end of the hall, kind of back towards the door that way.
Yes, so we will be heading there regardless to fulfill our mission. If I do find out anything about your situation, we will be sure to act, provided that there is some kind of compensation coming back.
I forgot to throw out some handouts. That's Meepo.
Oh. He had his own leash.
And this is Eustrail.
They lost one of their number in the land of the rats, though.
And did they tell you that they actually lost him, or he just wasn't there?
He was not there. And, Meepo spoke with them when they first entered our domain. He said that one that was missing was important to them. I know not why.
If we promise to look into your situation and bring back your dragon, we would request taking Meepo with us to help assist in finding them.
I would insist upon it myself. He needs to re-honor himself, and finding Alcrix would be the only thing I can think of that would allow for that. But if you are seeking the ones that you seek, and you wish to collect all of them, I would suggest first going to the land of the rats, not going directly to the land of the greenskins.
So, myself turning around to the others, gesturing. Does anyone else have anything I'd like to know?
I point to Ustriel, and I ask, you keep the one you serve Calcrix in a cage?
Yes.
Like, is it a natural way of things?
You are not familiar with dragonkind, are you?
No.
Kobolds do not have much meat on their bones, but to a young, growing white wormling, it's enough. And to ensure that we can serve the dragon as he grows, we make sure to keep him safe in a pen. We also keep goblins in chains and cages as well. But not for the same reasons.
I do not like this. It's not my culture. I do not like this.
Out of character note, it's the same as keeping a child in like a, contained space so it doesn't run off and do crazy crap and hurt itself.
I mean, do I know it's a baby worm though?
No, that has not been brought to your attention. You're probably thinking, pretty big dragon. And then
Yeah.
it was mentioned that it was in the cage, and you're thinking back to the cage that was back in the room with Meepo, and you're like, but why do you keep it? And then you're like, how did it fit?
Asking the real questions.
I start wandering back towards this water heater because I'm really suspicious.
Oh no.
Not gonna stop you. That said, Hero, Aveline, and send any questions for Yusrael, or anything that you want to do while in her domain.
What is in the broiler?
Within is old magics, created long ago by the original keepers of this castle. 2 bound mephits reside within. Treacherous creatures, but they serve well.
What? How'd I end up back here?
You went in a circle.
Kind of walking in sideways, just confused bear. Huh? The dragon scales are looking at you like, what?
Thought I went the right way. Hold on.
What? As you're walking around, you hear her say what was inside of the keg, because you walk around in a circle. You hear her say, "There's 2 mephits inside."
What's a method?
An elemental. A creature of water. One of them of water and air, the other of water and fire. Combined, they create perfect temperatured water for our people. And unfortunately also for the goblins. We've tried our best to stop them from getting the water, but it would cause us to break open the keg and release the creatures, which would be problematic and shouldn't be done, and it's really bad, and you shouldn't do it, and it's not a good idea.
So let's not.
Yo, so Stephanie's internet just dropped off again for a second there.
Okay. Can we actually
go
take a
check
quick break?
Yeah, if you want to take a break real quick, we can.
Okay.
Yep, that works out then.
Just a quick one.
We are currently on a break if you're watching out there in the world. Shouldn't be too long. Welcome back.
Hey guys.
Everyone else left.
Oh, okay. No, I'm the only one, and John.
Yeah, they went on a really quick break. Did you have any questions for Eustriel, though?
No, I just wanted to do some flavor stuff.
Go for it.
What was the little one's name? The kobold?
Meepo.
Meepo, okay.
What do you want to do? Or you want for everybody to get back?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And we can go a little bit longer if everyone else wants to.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Just waiting for the muscles.
These.
Please.
My 20-pounders are out of reach.
Oh man, I do 5.
You do These little babies.
Yeah, little babs.
Oh. I only have 20 pounders. I usually curl 35s at the gym.
What the hell?
I am the tank.
IRL tank.
I am the IRL tank.
No, this is a tank.
No. I am tank.
It's a repulsor, which normally sells for $80, and I got it for $30.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Good deals are good deals. I spent way too much on that game, though.
Isn't that always the case?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not as bad as some of the other people I hang out with, but I'm getting there. Currently watching Forge World item on the eBay, which normally sells for like 130 off the site. And I might be able to get it for 70. So hopeful. But I probably won't, so I'm not gonna be too concerned because then I don't have to spend money on it. Anyway, it's a win-win. Okay, back to what's happening. Abilene, you said you had something you wanted to do with Meepo.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to like put my hand on his shoulder and be like, "You're quite the ludicrous creature, but I'm glad you're going with us."
What? If anybody has any questions at this point, I've kind of entered it to a point of kind of two steps you can go through. You can either move towards the Goblin lands, quote unquote lands, or you can move to the Rat lands. If you were to go towards the Goblin lands, according to what you've been told, Meepo will go with you, and it's this way. And if you were to go to the Ratlands, it's back the way you came out the door to the northern end of where you found Meepo, and that leads to the eastern wing of the castle.
Well, I think we're supposed to be going to the Ratlands, right?
Well, according to what you've been told, the party effectively split. One was left behind in the Ratlands, and the others went into the Goblin lands and have never returned.
But the one in the Ratlands might know where the other ones went.
Well, it was said whoever that one was important to the group, according to Meepo.
The Bradford.
I say we go for that one.
I mean, I'm voting Ratlands.
We should save the one in the Ratlands. They're by themselves. The other ones may still have a party.
And the other thing I wanted to point out too is Ystrel did mention that they have goblins in chains here. If you wanted to do some interrogation.
Bad cop. Out of character, I actually don't know who any of these people are or what you guys are doing.
Oh, no.
Just like...
The goal is not to have you be the driving force at all.
You have no memories.
I guess it just, don't get to know anything going forward either.
That said, do you want which of those paths would you like to choose? Information gathering, greenskins, land, or rats?
Aveline saying this out loud though, like we can tell her.
Oh no, that was out of character. She's still down for the ride, but
She just vibing.
she has a sense of duty to assist, so that's what's gonna happen.
Just like shooting fire, snatching up magic swords. It's pretty cool.
Arm being used as a mace.
Sounds like a good time.
What's it gonna be?
Do we want to get information, or we can go kick some ass? Or do we want information to better kick ass?
Well then, I was just gonna go for rat. Make a good one. You can ask these goblins something.
If you wish to speak to the goblins, you may. Meepo, show them where they are.
And Meepo kind of moves over to here and points at this door that he's standing next to. And if you go to it, you'll see that it is barred, actually a bit more soundly than the barring you saw outside. Easy enough to lift and doors easy enough to open. Inside, you see that there are a total of 3 goblins, which have been secured about the neck with iron shackles. And it looks like the iron shackles are connected to thick chains that descend down and appear to be bolted to the floor with about inch thick steel rods. How far down into the stone they go, you do not know for sure, but it looks like the stone is cracked and splintered around where they were placed in. The goblins see you entering in and immediately start kind of recoiling against their chains, trying to move away from you, except for this one in the front. Kind of puffs his chest up and looks at you like he thinks he is important.
He thinks he's somebody. Oh, which one was it? The one that...
The one directly in front there.
Ah, that guy. That guy. Alright.
Nodder, I'm going to leave this one to you. This seems to be your expertise. Let me know if you need any help.
Well, I only have a few questions. I'm curious. Goblin. What do you know of a party of adventurers?
Who the fuck are you?
How'd you get here?
Alright.
You see Meepo kind of like pull out his leather strap and kind of
Whoosh! Kill him!
and the goblin kind of looks over at you.
They don't belong here. Bringing in more outsiders. You backpedal first.
The goblin kind of looks over to the bear.
Angry little man.
Meepo's like slapping the... He's trying to look intimidating to the goblins.
Well, I want to do something.
He's failing at that attempt, but he's
So,
trying.
I
Can I
have an
use-
idea.
Go ahead.
So she kind of just like puts her hand out and the little, what do you call that again?
Iris.
The iris kind of like opens up a little bit and it's almost like energy is kind of like readying.
A little glow.
Yeah, like just kind of like, and then just like hold it out, like expecting.
Okay, go ahead and make an intimidation check. You have advantage for the roll.
Oh shoot. Let me get my... Sorry, when my internet dropped, I lost
No worries.
stuff I was doing. Okay.
$14. All right. The Copal kind of like cowers a bit away from you, kind of moving back, and as the goblin does so, kind of bumps into Hero. Kind of looks over its shoulder, and then looks over at the bear. Looks back to the bear.
What did you say? What did you want to know? What do you want to know?
I nodded at Aveline because, you know, same thinking process. 5 adventures. What do you know?
4.
Is it
No,
4?
3. 3.
What?
3 adventures.
Hold on.
There were 3
adventures. What do you know?
Sorry, I was slipping in a Meepo there.
There were 3 adventurers. There was only 3. And there was one with a sword. There was one with a book, and there was one with a sword. 2 swords.
Where did you see them at?
I was positioned at the caltrop wall, and that's where I saw them. We fought bravely, and they were able to pass us. Then I woke up here.
If I were to head that way, what kind of threat would I face?
You have to go through the rats. You have to go through defenses. Caltrop Hall, Arrow Hall. More than enough for you.
Looks back over to Aveline.
You might be able to pass it. But, yeah. Yeah. That was the last group, the most recent one. Before that, there was a group of adventurers that went down there. We had one of them captured. He, just won't die. And we don't feed him, and he's still alive. And
Which one is it?
he's a little one. He's, what are they called?
You hear one of the other goblins go,
Gnome! They're called gnomes! Yes, a gnome. Yeah.
which doesn't ring any bells, but you do remember hearing that an adventuring group, or remember seeing tracking from an adventuring group that had smaller individuals a long time ago.
Yeah. If you were gonna do it,
And you see the other goblins kind of looking at him like side-eyed.
then, if I told you the best way of it, well, what can you do for me?
I burn my fangs.
Shit. Well, I guess living inside of a kobold's prison is better than being dead in one. Fine. I would say that if you go the normal route of it, the way that they came through, you'll die. Our master is very confident, and he is guarded by a number of hobgoblins. And I don't think you and your ilk could best them. No.
So great about the master user.
Yeah. Dern is also guarded by Grenell, who is a spellcaster, more powerful than that bitch kobold.
Meepo runs forward, just smacks him in the face with the leather strap, and then rushes back.
You shut your fucking mouth!
The goblin.
More powerful than the kobold wizard.
Belts him again.
Is a powerful wizard.
You can see
Where
Meepo
can
kind
they
of
be?
cross his arms, satisfied.
Bad cop Meepo.
And most of the forces are around Dern. So you might want to come in a different way.
The other goblins, in some language that you don't understand, start kind of yelling at him, and he kind of looks at them.
There!
Is
I
it
also look at
goblin?
them.
If you speak goblin, they're telling him,
Shut the fuck up! You're selling us out to these.
and he's like,
You shut up!
Everyone, shut up.
do you say it in goblin?
Yeah.
They all kind of,
Hell yeah.
the one on the far side who said no goes,
Shit.
I forgot what I was gonna ask.
Is there anything else we want to know from these guys?
the one who said shit kind of looks over to Sen and says,
If you're going through the rat area, that's where the one who had the bow died. We fed it to the mother.
The mother rat?
and to those who are listening on the outside, when the goblin is saying the words that the goblin is saying, it's definitely sounds strange, but you hear the word Gulthias, which to you in your mind, Sen, has a weird translation out of goblin to common. It can mean great mother, it can mean mother great with baby, or it could just mean bloated thing. But that's the word that it uses. The way that the goblin is using it, it does sound like it's referring to a mom.
Okay.
mean, I'm looking back
So
at
I'm
Sen
still
because I was
clarifying a mother rat.
Uh huh.
Okay. I turn to the party and tell them what I know now about the one with the bow, the archer, being dead and fed to a mother rat. Mommy rat.
I didn't know you could speak Goblin.
We traded with goblins a lot.
We still need to get back the ring, even if they're dead.
Yeah,
So
it happened.
we need to find the mother.
Yeah. So remembering the 4 members of the party that did go, just so we're confirming that it was Sir Bradford, who was a paladin in plate armor with a magical sword called Shatter Spike. There was the wizard daughter, Hukriel. There was the fighter male, Hukriel. And then there was the guide, who was an elvish ranger type.
Which
I was
is
saying
likely
it
the
way
one with
wrong.
the bow.
Huh?
I was saying Hercule the whole time.
No, I know. It's Hukriel. It's fine.
It works for your character, David.
It's totally good.
I have a big tongue. It's hard for me to say English words.
So there were 4.
Yeah, and
Okay.
from the sounds of it, the one with a bow would probably be the elf ranger. So the one that
Right.
died in the Ratlands is not one of the children.
Okay. But they're the one with the ring.
Yeah. Well, no. So
No.
The children are the ones with the rings.
Okay.
The fighter Hukriel and the wizard Hukriel, whose names are currently escaping me, but I can get them here.
Talgan are...
You got them both?
Yeah.
Gain inspiration. Yeah, it was Talgan and that other one.
Hey!
So yeah, just check mark the inspiration, and basically at any time you roll a d20, you can just add inspiration to it, meaning you gain advantage, or you can give it to someone else as they're rolling a dice, and they can gain advantage.
Oh, that's cool.
It's pretty nice, pretty nifty. I reward people remembering stuff, and also doing cool shit.
I was bummed I lost my...
But yeah, let's see. Any other questions for these goblins?
Look at Hero and Sen. I'm like, well, can we gain any more tactical advantage? You guys got anything else you want to ask?
I think my questions are answered.
I'm satisfied.
All right. Meepo
I
leads.
give two taps to the goblin that puffed out his chest. Enjoy your time.
Seems pretty deflated at this point. Not only by you, someone knowing Goblin and Fire Hands.
Air hands.
Meepo kind of sees you out and then kind of rushes in there with kind of a, you hear a smack, and then rushes back out and shuts the door and seals it. Looks at you kind of,
Okay.
I did it.
Enjoyed that.
Are you satisfied?
and Dracona kind of leans over his shoulder and yells,
He said bad stuff, the middle one. You punish him. I said it about Eustrail.
and you hear, oh! Like, that's the plan. Meepo kind of wanders about near you. Elenia kind of has listened to the whole thing and has been paying attention. But at this point, it's decision time. There's either the door to the north of you that leads into direct Goblin Land, or you can go backtracking and move towards the Ratlands, as they're called. Just depends on how you want to approach it.
Well, I mean, do we think this the Rangers will be dead?
Well, they said the ranger is dead and fed to this mother. this mother rat. So there's no saving them. So I suppose we could go and try and find the 3 remaining. And then, because the dead are going to stay dead.
They're gonna stay dead. It happened.
The defenses he had mentioned were over beyond Ratland. So to get to them, he said to go through Ratlands. The narrower defenses he had mentioned. Going straight that
Ew.
path leads to...
So both paths lead to the same place.
Correct. So you're either going to take a circumnavigatory method all out and around and then in, or you're going straight in.
Got you. Okay, then we lose nothing by investigating Arctic.
Right. Also, there are 4 of you, or 5 of you, rather, with Alenia. Alenia has used one of her 2 spell slots for the day. And I believe you still have some damage on you. So you're not going in 100%, and even at 100%, you aren't very high leveled. If you want, you can try and take a rest and take a long rest here in Kobold Town, and maybe think about what you want to do next.
I think we can smack a few rats around after resting.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, and you are resting at this point, and with the encounters that you've engaged in, and the encounters you've engaged in before, you currently are sitting at 310 experience apiece. And taking a long rest would put you at enough to level during that rest. If you want to go ahead and do so quickly, we can go ahead and move to the next step. Leveling should be easy. In your experience points, if you change it to 310, it should put a little hammer and thing next to it. If you click that, it'll bring up the character mancer, and you can just kind of blitz through that pretty quickly. We will be doing average hit points for leveling purposes, just because it's easier that way.
You might have to walk me through what I click here because I don't remember.
Alright, so in the first section, you'll change your second level. You don't gain anything special from that, so you'll just hit next on the first page. In the features page, if it comes up for you, click next. In the spells section, you'll just add, I think, 2 spells for you. And you want to add... I genuinely don't know what you should add.
Can I pick any of these?
Yeah, that's... well, no, there's the reward spells.
Oh, okay.
So what I would advise... Let me see here. Artificer spell list. Everyone else is probably already done. Doesn't take too long to level a non-caster. Barbarian, actually, sorry, no, you gain you gain a path, which is going to be, no, it's at 3rd level still.
Yeah, 3rd.
Nobody gains nothing. So for you, I would suggest, do you have Cure Wounds already? Is it check marked?
Where's my character sheet?
I don't know. Oh, are you? Let's see. You're in build mode. Hold on. Oh, this is the best level for artificers. Oh, okay. So the features page that you're on right now, it says infuse item, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's handle that. You guys are gonna get so excited. This is the best part.
Yay.
Okay. So what I would suggest is taking enhanced defense for the first one.
Oh, it tells you what it does. Okay.
Which allows you to take somebody's armor and make it +1 better. And then take enhanced weapon, which makes the weapon better. Repeating shot, because we have a bow thrower here.
That one sounds like a fun one.
And then replicate magic item, whichever one you want. I'm a dork, so I typically say magic jar, but don't do that, or alchemy jar, but don't do that. Because it's a pointless item, and the only reason I do it is because it lets you make mayonnaise.
I mean, that's kind of in character, so.
I mean, okay.
I want to do prosthetic limb.
Okay. That, and you being a Warforged, that'll work out for you. Okay, perfect. So then, once you've got those 4 selected, just hit next. And then that should take you to your spells section. And then when it comes to your spell choices, if you have Cure Wounds trained already, which it should be checkmarked on that list, then don't pick that one. But if you don't have it, choose it.
Got it.
Fairy Fire?
Yes, got that.
False Life.
Do not have that.
Take False Life. And then do you have...
It won't let me pick one.
Oh, well then just hit next.
Okay.
Let me double check. Artificers...
Oh, I gained a lot of hit points.
Yeah, it's roll plus con. Your con's pretty good. Artificer class. Spells. Oh yeah, your spells wouldn't increase. That makes sense. But yeah, infusions are great. Now, when it comes to infusions, and because I'm a nice DM, you can infuse an item when you finish a long rest. You can only do so with one such item. So if you want, you can enhance someone's defense, you can enhance someone's weapon, create a prosthetic, or give someone the repeating shot add on to their bow. I think it repeating shot, let me check. Simple or martial weapon with the ammunition property. It gains a +1 attack and damage roll. It ignores the loading property if it has it. Let's see. Automatically creating one piece of it. Oh, and also, repeating shot lets you fire the weapon without using ammunition. Basically, it creates magical ammunition when you shoot instead of wasting arrows. That's pretty good. So, which one of those 4 infusions do you want to operate for the long rest? And who are you giving it to?
Does anyone else have an opinion on what would be best?
So real quick, her options for giving it out to people, she can create a +1 bonus to your defense for anybody if you're wearing armor. She can give you, or a shield. If you're using a shield, you can add it onto that. She can give you a +1 to your attack and damage rolls. And if you're using a bow, she can give you a +1 to your attack and damage rolls and make it so you don't use ammunition for your weapon. Pretty good for a long bow.
And good at bows.
Pretty good for a short bow, actually. It goes good either way.
No, that seems like a good... Oh, go ahead.
It's got fancy fur. Yeah, +1 that fur.
Can't do it. Unfortunately, it has to be armor suit or shield.
Do any of us have armor?
Yeah, Hero's wearing armor, I believe.
Oh.
Right, Mike? Yeah, and he also has a bow. And then weapon-wise...
He has a long bow.
Yeah, everyone has weapons, but he does fight two-handed, though, like normally.
Right.
Operationally, he can't get an infusion on his vicious longsword because it's already magical. But you could add it to... You could add the +1 repeating function to Sen's short bow, which would make it more damage. It would be closer to a longbow in output.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Does this, is it permanent or is it...
It lasts until you choose a different one to replace that one.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah, and you can have a number of 2 infusions out at a time at this current level, but you can only during a long rest create one. So if you wanted to spend more time sitting around doing nothing, you could make another one, but I probably wouldn't advise it. Just the one long rest should do it.
Yeah, we can go with Sen's weapon.
Okay, and then everyone would regain all of your hit points and any spent spells or abilities will be restored, and of course your level would have been increased by 1 for the long rest.
Should use the bear hug when I had the chance.
Yes, you definitely want to think about like when and how you're going to rest. It's definitely key. But yeah, with that all being done, at the beginning of the day, Alenia is going to cast a spell on Hero. The spell is called Gift of Alacrity, which states that whenever you roll initiative, you add a d8 to your roll for the next 8 hours. Alright. And she will have spent 1 of her 3 spell slots for that. And
Do I need to track that, or are you tracking that?
I'll remind you. Not a problem.
Gotcha.
All right. So then, what would you like to do?
In a party?
Yep.
Oh, we're ready to go now, right?
Yeah, I thought we were going that way.
You going the right way?
The rat way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then, Hero?
Yeah.
Hero?
All right.
Our hero gives me a nod.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We go rat.
I'm drawing.
And I start walking towards the wrong door.
I'm drawing. I'm drawing the path with Alenia, so you should see the yellow marker appear as to how she goes just now. Try and give her a follow. If not, just tell me you didn't chase, and I'll just drag you over to her. And Meepo will be going with us as well.
Yay.
It seems that during your long rest, during your time kind of camping in the long haul, you would have overheard a conversation in Draconic between Meepo and Eustrael, where Eustrael has returned the use of his weapons to him. But yeah,
It's not useless.
he has a sword, kind of a small one, and a dragon scale shield.
And
Alenia opens the door, and you move into a hallway that kind of narrows at the end of it, and it looks like it settles around, kind of moving to the south. Very quickly upon coming into out and around, you'll see that this is pretty much a filler hallway that leads to a door at the far end. And Meepo.
Sen.
What you'll note too about movement-wise, Alenia kind of stays close to Aveline. Again, not as suspicious as she was yesterday. Just seems to have that same kind of, I brought you into this world, I need to keep you here kind of mentality. And Meepo seems to be like riding on like Hero's coattails, like looking up to him, keeping an eye on him, listening to whatever he says.
So cute.
A baby dog.
The door ahead. This door looks stone and old and slightly
So very full of mold.
slightly busted up a bit. It looks like the door has been forced open a number of times, and it looks like there have been attempts to keep this door sealed on this side and presumably on the other side based on what you're looking at. But if you move to open it, it seems to be just loosely kind of hanging on its hinges, and sure enough opens. You enter into an empty chamber that kind of has some breaks in the wall, and you can kind of see out of it a little. Looking out the right side of the room, you can see that it looks like this is an exterior wall, possibly one that you looked at as you were entering into the Citadel in the first place. The door ahead looks like it too is kind of broken a bit and just kind of hanging. And if you move to open it, Let's see. Oh, sorry. The ground here, it looks like it is dusty. It does look like there are a number of tracks that kind of run through the dust. And also quite a few rat droppings in the corners of the room.
I mean, I trust Sen more than I trust myself with the doors. That was tracked.
Did you just ping? Oh, you were
barrel roll. Gotta.
Okay. So do you continue on, or do you have any questions about the room? Anything about it? Trackings, or droppings, tracks, trackings, drop. Don't even know how to say words. There are no traps, but tracks.
Track.
Drops.
I check for traps.
there are no traps. But if you'd like, you can attempt to kind of track the tracks here. Track the tracks. Trap the tracks? I don't know. Wisdom is the key. Perception or survival, your choice.
Oh, if it's wisdom, I should roll it.
Yeah, you can either roll straight wisdom or you can go perception or survival.
Everyone or just somebody?
Anybody who's interested.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I do have a lot of survival.
No, I don't think you've rolled for one of these before, have you?
Go for it.
10.
Not terribly good. Definitely some noticeable rat tracks present, but nothing besides. And it's kind of keying with the rat droppings. There do look like there are other tracks, but again, you're not sure.
Yo, there's rats.
Rats.
The bear kind of gets lower, kind of sniffing out of the ground, kind of looking at the dirt, and can kind of distinctly make out where 3 or 4 human-sized creatures about a month ago have moved through here. With that roll, you can actually tell that 4 went north, 3 went south.
Bro. From sniffing the floor. What they
That
said
was a
was
mighty sniff.
true. What they said was true.
And if you
I can tell. Well, 4 went this way, but 3 went.
If you move to open the door, beyond, you see a bit of dust and odd bits of stone debris and rubble lying scattered on the floor. An ornate fountain is built into the eastern wall. Though cracked and stained, the fountain's overarching carving of a diving dragon retains its beauty. A relief-carved stone door stands on the western wall. And then the hallway ahead seems to lead further into the passageway therein. Starting with, let's go with Elizabeth. Which of these objects of note is most important to you? Do you want to check?
Door.
Door?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks
David?
like there's a crack. It's just based on that light.
Yeah, it's a
Or a glitch.
error.
Air? An elemental?
Error elemental. Gotta write that down.
Another
no.
inspiration.
A glitch in the Matrix.
That's gonna come back in like 2 more weeks of fighting.
Great.
Oh no, new monsters.
Roll for initiative. You live.
I am error. That's all it says. Oh my god, it's right out of Link. Anywho. The door. David, which do you want to investigate the door as well with Sen?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Is that what you're going? Okay. Michael, the dragon fountain is present, but the door is obviously the attention set for everyone else. It does look like there is a passageway that leads north as well. What would you like to investigate?
I would actually be interested more in the fountain first.
Makes sense. And Stephanie, what's Aveline doing?
She's gonna look down that open hallway.
Okay. Keep an eye out. All right. Cool. Alenia kind of moves towards the fountain as well, kind of looking at it with interest. Here you can kind of tell that she's kind of paying attention to your reaction to it as well. And then you can see that Meepo isn't really so much looking at the fountain as he's just looking at you.
Oh.
He's like, what are we gonna do? Kind of like ready to take action.
What's the plan, boss?
So the western door, there are carvings in Draconic on the door said that you can see. It looks like the inscription reads as follows: "Rebuke the dead, open the way." It definitely feels cooler around the door. Like the temperature has been pretty consistent throughout. Little lower than room temperature, but right around this door, it's like a good 10 degrees lower.
Okay, so it's colder.
It definitely feels like something is emanating the cold.
Okay.
That said, the carvings on the door appear to be skeletal dragons, kind of like fluttering about. Obviously locked in time in the carving, but they definitely have a very artistic flair to them.
They're in artistic motion.
Yes, kind of like a twisting flight. Then on the opposite side of the world, the fountain. There's a thin layer of scum that coats the basin. It is otherwise dry besides. It has some kind of etching, mostly worn away, inscription on the basin's front, kind of near the lip. And it reads, "Let there be fire," in Draconic. The descending dragon looks like its mouth is kind of open wide, as if it's ready to spew flame down into the fountain. Or water. More likely water. And Stephanie, up ahead, you think you see something in the shadows kind of scurry across the way. Probably about the size of like a small, big dog.
A medium-sized dog.
A medium-sized
big dog.
Well, kind of. It's a small-sized dog, but it's a small-sized big
A
dog.
big body.
It's a ROUS. Rodent of unusual size.
I'm gonna keep my eye on that.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're scurrying towards you. It just seems like general rativity.
Rativity.
Not paranormal rativity.
Just the regular
normal rativity.
Flying up for those bushes, I can't handle it.
Anywho, any ideas?
I'm a little interested in this door.
Yeah, let's check out this door.
As I said,
Do you want to open it?
yeah, if you want to give it a go, it definitely seems like the locked door has a very similar mechanism that to the door, the dragon door, the one that had the arcane lock on it. It seems like the door's inscription is kind of discerning the way that the door is unlocked. Rebuke the dead, open the way.
I mean, I can't read that.
And go ahead and make have Sen do an investigation check for trap searching, since you're investigating the door.
5.
Yeah, you're barely even able to make out the fact that it has the arcane lock on it. Just based on what you saw before, though, you kind of guess at it. But yeah, it definitely seems that this door is strange, and it seems to be the source of the emanation of cold.
It's a weird lock on a weird door.
With skeleton dragons. On the other side,
With skeleton dragons.
any fountain plans? Any fountain plans?
I
Got nothing.
think they're conspiracy.
They can't even
hear me.
hear us. Yeah, they got the
Conspiring.
speakers off. Oh man, he's so adorable with that little pet kobold. Like a
They're-
little baby.
I wonder what they're yelling about.
I can't believe that these guys would go to the door. We want to go to the fountain.
No, I think she's yelling her idea to him. The one she
Yeah.
posted in the chat in Discord.
Cheating.
Oh, it's fine. I don't mind
That's fine.
non-table like private messages amongst yourselves. That's fine. Totally cool with that.
Slides note to.
But yeah, the fountain.
Hurt me.
Any plans?
I didn't hear a lot of
Yeah.
what was going on because Stephanie was talking to me and I took my headphones off.
Oh, we're just.
Oh, no worries. So they're investigating a weird door that seems to be emanating cold, has an arcane lock on it, and there's an inscription on it that says "Rebuke the dead, open the way" on the door. And then I was trying to cut from that conversation to the fountain side people, which would be you and the NPCs.
Gotcha. So, yeah, I would look over toward. I don't know what your character's name is, Stephanie.
Avalene.
What the hell?
Believe.
Avalon?
In the roll 20,
Is it-
click on the character sheet thing. And it has
Oh, he's being in character, I think.
No, I'm like legit Aveline. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing
Okay,
that to
so-
help myself.
Yeah. Aveline, would you want to use your fire on the statue here? It says, I don't remember what it says. Something about fire.
You look down to read it. Do you read it to her in?
Yeah.
Do you read it to her in Common or Draconic?
In common.
Okay.
That should be acceptable.
It says, "Let there be fire." You walk over to it and then drop flame firebolt into it. There's a small dark stain in the basin where the firebolt strikes, but nothing changes.
How about the mouth?
Yeah, the mouth. It looks like there's a pipe that like is inside of it, like a fountain would have. But again, nothing seems to be coming out of it, and it doesn't look like it's had water or liquid come out of it for some time.
That's all I got.
It wasn't a bad idea. Do you have the spell Detect Magic?
I do.
Okay. So just so you know, it can be cast as a ritual, which means you take 10 minutes instead of its normal one action casting time to cast it. If you do it that way, you don't waste a spell slot, but again, it takes the 10 minutes. So it's not something you can kind of do in combat or what have you. If you
Gotcha.
want to go ahead and perform that ritual to see if there's something magical about this fountain, you can definitely try that. Or something magical about that door. There's definitely something magical about that door. But if you all want to wait for her, you can. If you want to do something in the meantime, just let me know what it is. It sounded like there was door nanigans going on. Do we have a plan for the door?
I mean, I'm waiting for Sten to give me the go ahead to just hit it.
I don't know if we want to hit it
Why?
because the lock looks suspicious.
Mm.
The door also looks suspicious, but I don't know what it is about it that's suspicious.
Alenia's ears kind of perk up. She kind of walks over to you. What's weird about it?
Well, it's cold. And it's emanating cold. And I can't quite tell what the lock is, but I think it has magic.
It's really strange.
Looks similar to the last one.
Oh, a magic lock.
Skeletal dragons and weird draconic runes.
A magic lock.
I don't think I can be much help here.
What? And do you know what it says?
Do I know what it says?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can read draconic. It says, "Rebuke the dead, open the way."
Okay. So, rebuke the dead, open the way.
Oh,
So,
you see Elenia go, oh, let me try something. And she walks over to the door and kind of stands next to you. She pulls out her holy symbol, holds it up. In the name of the Morning Lord, the bringer of justice, the even-handed judge, be gone from my sight, she says to the door. You can kind of feel this strange power come from the symbol. Then you feel the temperature kind of rise near the door, and this blue light shimmer across the face of the door. You hear it unlock.
spooky.
It
But
was
it's
gonna
a
be a
book.
riddle like the last one. It was totally different.
I mean, it kind of was a riddle.
I wouldn't have guessed that. So it wasn't a good one.
Yeah.
Remember, speak friend and enter.
Amigo.
That's what it is in Elvish, actually.
Actually, it's not.
Well, there was a cool story on Twitter about how the Spanish-speaking people in like a middle school class decided to all play elves, and instead of speaking Elvish, they would just speak Spanish, and so it was kind of cool
That is
That
kind of
is
cool.
cool, yeah.
because then they could talk amongst themselves, and the DM could understand them, and they were speaking in Elvish, and then the people who didn't know it or anyways, it was kind of cool. Anywho, the door is unlocked if you want to open it now.
Okay, cool. By the way, it is 9:10.
Yep. So, question to the group: does anybody want to continue? Because Stephanie said she could, but if not, we can stop. Your call.
Oh, okay. So we don't have a cutoff then.
Well, 9 would have been. Yeah, I mean, this would have been close to when I was going to stop. I'm pretty set on
Okay.
the stopping point being close. But if you want, we can continue beyond that. It's fine. I don't care.
Okay, I think it's up to Stephanie because I don't care.
David and Michael.
I'm good.
Yeah, it's 100% up to Stephanie.
Okay.
Because she
Oh,
has to
really?
work in the morning.
I'm actually not tired.
It's you're the one who says we party on or not.
I'm not very tired right now.
Okay, let's rock and roll. So the door opens if you open
Yeah.
it. Inside, you
Open
see
sesame.
5 dusty sarcophagi, 3 to the north and 2 to the south, that stand on end in the silent chamber. Each of the carved stone coffins resembles a noble, elf-like humanoid in ceremonial robes. An altar, with images of dragons carved into its black obsidian, is set in the center of the west wall. A single candle burns brightly on the altar. There is no smoke from the flame. Next to the candle is a flute and a crystal flask. And this is what all that looks like.
Oh, it's like... It's right for opening.
And when I said flute, I meant flute. Yeah. This would be happening during the time that Aveline is casting Detect Magic. So you can halt doing that, or you can wait for them. They can wait for you to cast it, or what have you. Do you want to stop and wait for Aveline to do so, or?
Yeah.
Okay. So time passes. You hear a couple of more scurryings to the north, but nothing that comes rushing towards you or anything crazy. When you cast Detect Magic, the mouth of the dragon's face on the fountain glows with a strange kind of twisting, kind of elemental magic. The words glow. The draconic words on the lip glow. And from what you can kind of see of it, make an Arcana check to see if you can kind of decipher the connection between those two things.
Me?
Yes.
Okay.
It seems that if the words are spoken aloud, whatever the the thing is, the elemental dragon mouth thing is, will activate. And based on what you can tell, it doesn't seem like it's going to be detrimental to everyone. Not like it's a trap or something. It seems like whatever it's going to do, it's going to fill the basin of the fountain with something. And then turning over and looking, you can see the remnants of magic at where the door is located, a necromantic spell. And it seems that there's some sort of triggering residue that's no longer present that seems to connect to a mundane physical trap that would have unleashed a scythe on everyone at the door had it been attempted to be opened without it being disarmed. Beyond that, you can see the 3 items on the altar. All 3 glow: the candle, the flute, and the bottle, which has a liquid in it that has kind of a reddish tint to it. And the bottle's really nice, it's crystal. Let's see. Oh, and that's it. Oh, sorry, the sarcophaguses have magic to them. So does the altar. Those 5 sarcophagi and the altar magic is similar to what you just encountered with outside. It seems like if the altar is disrupted, something happens with the coffins.
That's a lot of info.
Yeah, sorry. Detect magic. Detect magic is super useful.
Yeah.
I feel like there's probably a correct order to interact with these things.
Yeah. Let's see.
Well, do you speak Draconic?
I don't know.
Yeah, so you wouldn't be able to read the words, so that for you is kind of barred as a step. And it was read to you, when it was read to you, it was read in common. He said that the thing said, "Let there be fire."
Well, I was gonna tell Hero to do something, but he's making a snack.
Nick! We can hear the microwave.
Oh, you can hear.
We can hear him too, so.
Said feed Gwen, and then instantly are blaming me for not being on
They can hear you, you know.
Good. I know how mean you are.
Terrible.
Spousal
I'm
abuse.
so mean, apparently.
Tell him I feel his pain.
Demanding I feed the cat, and then immediately mad and goes on to the computer again.
I was just suggesting maybe you should feed her because she has food left.
Don't get mad that I'm not computer.
Fight. Not the only one.
This is happening.
What, the fighting in your life? No, your bear character does not know that's
Sorry,
happening.
everyone else commanded to feed the cat, so I can't hear anything going on.
But you know what? I'm muting myself.
So,
Okay, so in this room that we have open,
there are 5 sarcophagi, an altar, and 3 items on the altar. The 3 items are a candle that appears to be affected by the Continual Flame spell, some sort of potion inside of a crystal decanter, and a flute.
yeah. And do we know, we saw the magic detection, right? Or do we know?
Aveline sees that. I don't know if she's reported that to anyone.
And now she.
Did you mention it?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
She basically describes the magic that she sees. Elenia kind of nods her head. Some kind of wizard. She kind of then goes back to whatever she was doing. She doesn't know what she is. She doesn't understand. She's trying to figure it out. Make sense of the world around her.
But this room is mostly untouched.
Oh yeah, completely covered in
Seems like-
dust. This one has no rat marks, no tracks, nothing. No one has entered here.
I check
Yeah.
my perception to see like what I understand so far.
Yeah, so
like if I can detect anything.
it's still as the grave.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then
Never mind.
Can I check for traps?
I'm scared of the last time. I did this
Yeah.
thing.
Go ahead and make an investigation or a perception check, your choice.
Did it do it? There we go. Oh, geez.
Did it twice. 16 is
twice.
fine. So they're very clear kind of sigil marks on the altar around the items, and the sigil marks seem to match up with the sigil marks that are around the lips of, or the lids rather, of the coffins. Based on what you can tell, they seem to be connected in some way.
Are they in a certain? Are the sigils in a certain order?
It seems like all of the ones in question, all of the patterns are identical. So it would seem that all 3 of the items, if moved or touched, would trigger all 5 of the sarcophagi. And while you were up, Michael, Aveline would have understood that speaking the words in the fountain or on the fountain in Draconic aloud will activate whatever the fountain is.
And I was actually going to say, kind of like point at that and say, could you read that out loud?
No. Yes.
He doesn't trust Aveline yet.
Well, fine.
Okay.
Nah, I was too busy feeding the cat. So
Someone who may feed the cat.
So, yeah, I go ahead and read the loud.
Okay, you speak the words in Draconic aloud, which is kind of a guttural language with kind of sharp tones. And upon speaking it, the dragon mouth starts spewing out a reddish liquid, the scent of which is pretty familiar to Hero. It's a very kind of ozone-y kind of smell, the smell that typically emanates around a dragonborn, gold or red dragonborn, more specifically, when they breathe their breath. The liquid fills the bottom of the basin there. It doesn't fill, sorry, it doesn't fill. It kind of continues pouring into the basin. And you can see that it seems to be kind of like lingering in a pretty easily scoopable out kind of pool there inside. If you wanted to drink it or hold on to it for later. Detect magic would still be active, so the liquid is glowing.
Drink it or save it for later?
Yeah, you can put it in something if you wanted to.
I don't know if I have anything I can put it in.
Your mouth.
Well, yeah.
People's
Other than
mouth.
that.
And
Can't fight with you don't have your hands.
Just cup it.
All right, we're in a combat. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and drink it.
Okay. After drinking this potion, you can use a bonus action to exhale fire at a target within 30 feet of you. The target must succeed a DC 13 Dexterity saving throw, or take 4d6 fire damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. The effect ends after you exhale the fire 3 times, or when 1 hour has passed. Should be on your visual there. And that effect is on you right now. Pretty cool.
Okay.
Am I gonna need to do anything in order to save that little explanation, or
I believe it is now in the... I'm going to put it in the items section. Hold on a second here. Potion.
Oh, yep, I see it.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's under handouts. Huzzah. Cool. But yeah, that's currently affecting you as of right now. And it'll last for 1 hour. Okay. So, what would you all, with the sarcophagi and stuff on the thing, like to do?
Well, first, I think I'll go ahead and go into the room
Sure.
to get a better look.
Oh yeah.
5 sarcophagi.
Like, can't. I didn't know this about roll 20. You can't walk through the wall. You have to walk through the door.
I made it that way. Yeah, some people allow you to walk through walls, but not me.
Not in your world.
Heck no. Well, the very first time I used dynamic lighting, one of my friends, Joe Orbic, he would just jump through walls and just move around the whole map real fast. He wasn't looking for anything.
He just wanted to.
But other people who were a little bit more guilesome were like, well, I could just jump wherever I want, see what the map's like. So, yeah.
Naughty.
Fortunately, he brought it very... Oh, he brought it to my attention. But you move into the room.
Yes.
So does Elenia, actually. Definitely a precarious... I mean, she opened it up with turning magic, so she's a little bit more focused on this place.
And Aveline. Everybody's here.
Game's all here.
Meepo's kind of staring up at Hero, who drinks the liquid. Almost like a puppy, hoping scraps would drop. Kidding, not really.
Like a bird?
Can I have
I don't know.
I would like what you're eating.
You'd feel very remiss to have missed that.
But yeah, the items look like they're perfectly takeable.
I mean, I'm looking to sin because I don't trust this anymore.
Take it.
You are looking to sin.
Then
You would like to sin.
Oh, Sen.
That's the whole point of the name. Thank you.
He's looking to sin over here.
I'm looking to sin.
Who's ready to send?
Y'all ready to sin?
Oh, it's a cat.
Oh, the cat's back.
Nalen's on board.
Bunny
Nayland.
butt.
Okay, Nayland says yes.
Which item would you like to take?
The sin, I don't know if it's safe to take any of them. I trust you.
Deciding which one would be most useful. It'd probably be great if we had a bard to play the flute. I feel like that would be a thing. There's a potion.
A bard playing the flute, you say? Sorry, I'm rude today.
Fair.
Or the candle.
Well, you already have an ever-burning torch in your hand, so...
Right, so we don't need the candle. Potion?
But are you thinking you can only take one?
Well, I'm just thinking if I take one, we're gonna be fucked. So which is the most useful?
Can I check this out some more, or is it kind of
Make an
beating a dead horse?
Make an Arcana check. You're still playing with the detect magic there, and you are also still looking at the ruins.
Yeah, you're like right behind us.
Yeah.
19.
Yep. Based on what you can tell, it seems that there's some sort of stasis lock on the sarcophagi. Based on your understanding of the robed elves presented on the sarcophagi, very similar in kind to the archers outside, your presumption is that if the trap is sprung, the sarcophagi will no longer have their stasis lock, and whatever is inside of them, presumably undead, will enter into combat with those that are in the room.
But also, presumably, these are elves. Undead elves. Which doesn't make sense.
It makes perfect sense. Everything can be undead,
That's true.
except this cat.
He doesn't have to make sense. He's fine.
He's positive energy incarnate. The goodliest boy. Well, what would you like to do? But if you speak this aloud, I mean, one thing that Nodder and Hero might kind of take to note is it's going to be an unstoppable situation. Combat is going to be forced upon you.
Mm-hmm.
So, knowing that,
I reach for my long sword and then remember that I didn't get it. I'll take a battle axe instead.
the bear tears flow like wine. Aveline drinks them.
we'll slurp.
Oil the hinges a little bit.
But yeah, if it's your plan to spring the trap, being ready for the trap might be beneficial.
Yeah. Y'all
So-
get ready.
Either way, we
I think
can
there's gonna be.
we can solve this and get ready for battle, or we can fail this and get ready for battle.
Yeah.
And I look
Either
back
way.
and say, and I go like, "Hero, bring your pet. It's gonna be a fight."
Do you go into the room, Hero?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Great. I'm gonna grab that potion.
All right.
Are your swords at the ready?
The second,
My battle axe is in my hands.
the potion
Hero.
becomes taken, and I'll assume that people who are preparing can ready an action. So you're ready for a fight. So let's discuss how readying and triggering works. So if you know something's going to happen, you can prepare an action to do something when that thing happens. You do so as your reaction. So during your turn, even if you're not in combat, you use your action to say I'm readying, and then you nominate a trigger and the thing that you do. When that thing happens, you spend your reaction. So it's effectively 2 costs for 1 on-time effect. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, that said, Hero, you're standing next to one sarcophagus, and you have weapons drawn, I presume. You cannot take bonus action, so you can't twin fight or anything like that, but you can take 1 attack for free before combat genuinely engages. Do you want to ready an action to attack something if it comes out of the sarcophagus? Do you want to dodge in preparation?
You said that you can't pick a bonus action.
Yeah, so you can only ready an action, and if you had multiple attacks during your turn, the reaction still triggers out like a opportunity attack, a reaction attack. So you only get 1 attack.
Okay.
It does look
Yeah,
like
so I'm gonna get ready to attack.
okay. It does look like Alenia is focused on the sarcophagus that you're focused on as well, and it looks like she has her holy symbol readied and she's prepared to cast a spell. Okay, let's get this cat butt out of the way. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it.
Cat butt.
He is muscling in.
Oh, a new angle in the room.
Funky boy.
Yeah, he keeps hitting it. You are just the best. Okay.
See a cat.
So Alenia looks like she's writing something. Meepo looks like he's taking the dodge action, just holding his position in the corner. It doesn't appear cowardly. It looks like he just doesn't know what's going on. Sen, do you want to ready? Oh, you're the one who's causing the effect, so you're not going to be able to take a ready action.
Right.
Nodder.
Reckless attack is automatic, right?
Reckless attack happens when you attack, but it can only happen on attacks you make during your turn, so you cannot reckless attack on a react.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna get ready for a 2-handed battle axe attack if the coffin in front of me opens.
Okay. And then Aveline.
So, I'm thinking that whatever's in these sarcophagi are similar to what came out of the sarcophagi with the
Or Sagaffa ladies.
trolley thing. So I'm gonna actually,
Fire.
get ready to fire.
Okay. The bottle is picked up, and the second the bottle is picked up, the sarcophagus lids just vanish. seemingly not having been present at all, or were nothing more than some sort of strange barrier magic. And oh,
Try.
no, boy. Oh my god, he doesn't
He's
like.
gonna get that cruiser.
He already killed the skeletons, you guys. I'm sorry.
Yes!
The fight's over.
Halen saved us.
5 skeletons step,
You know what? It's OP, but I'll take it.
kind of step into, like they're in their coffins, but they're kind of stepping out of them. But ready to actions galore, so we'll go ahead and move left to right. Nodder, you're attacking the one nearest you, so go ahead and take a swing with the battle axe.
Oh, my attack still goes up? Cool.
Mhm.
Alright. Raw! Two-handed axe this time. I haven't done this one yet. Let's go. Hello? But I clicked it.
Yeah, it worked. I do not
I clicked it
remember.
a few times then.
Yeah, it's kind of laggy. 14 will hit though, so go ahead and click on the damage on one of them. All right, so you all watch as Nodder's kind of holding his axe up over the sarcophagus. I can't show you what I'm doing because there's a cat.
Just pick him up and throw him.
It's kind of holding up the axe like this,
As
and it
all cats do,
brings it down.
they want to be in between you and whatever you're giving your attention.
He brings it down, and you hear kind of like a shattering pop as the skeleton kind of steps out. Nodder, you watch as the skull kind of breaks into the rib cage, and then the rib cage splinters out sideways, and the pelvic bone just kind of breaks into the coffin further in, and there's just bones kind of shooting out to the sides as you split the skeleton clear in two.
Oh yeah.
And
I thought it was
then-
gonna be rats, but it's bones.
Fair.
Got prepared for rat, got bones.
Hero, your attack against the one you're adjacent to.
Hold on, I'm almost there. I'm attacking with my vicious longsword.
Mm-hmm.
Did it go?
Yep.
Yeah, there it goes.
It
22.
went
That'll hit.
Lordy.
Damage.
6.
All right. Doesn't exactly destroy it, but a solid hit. And then you hear a prayer kind of shoot out from behind you, and you see radiance appear from the ceiling and slam down into the skeleton in question, casting the sacred flames. And then the skeleton will attempt to dodge. Fails. The sword kind of breaks a bunch of ribs out, and then the light kind of pierces through it and causes it to break apart, singeing some of the undead bone matter. And then, let's see, Meepo dodges. And then, Aveline, you would have had no line of sight here based on your position. So, which of these two, the one close to Sen or the one there, do you want to shoot with a fire?
I'm gonna go the one closest to Sun.
Okay, go ahead and make the attack with Firebolt. Hit, damage.
Ah.
5.
Alright, kind of a burst of flame kind of shoots into the sarcophagus, kind of lights up the coffin space, and you can hear kind of like a charring. Looks like some of the bone in the arm and left side of the creature is kind of burnt and still slightly kind of singed. But it still moves. Alright, so then we go to Initiative Town. And so make sure you select your token. And then click on the initiative button. See that cat back there?
Yeah.
She's,
nice.
she's being
Bam.
she's being good. But Nalen's right beneath her and is scratching at the cat post. And she is afeared. Everybody rolled. Cool deal. Sen, you are up. The one next to you looks pretty well wounded. And it looks like, 2 on the north side. I forgot to X out that one. 2 on the north side are destroyed.
was gonna say, how much damage does it take? I thought.
14
For
did.
sure he killed that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and finish off this one closest to me then.
And as a reminder, you did note with your encounter with the skeletons that it seems that bludgeoning damage is very effective against skeletons.
Yes.
Okay, we all caught that then.
Hmm.
All right, cool.
Cool. So I have a rapier and a dagger.
Neither are bludgeoning.
Yeah. So, fuck.
You could try to improvise weapon attack it with the pommel of the rapier. You'll be less effective at hitting it, though.
Right.
But the damage will be doubled.
Doesn't hurt to try at least.
Okay. So then go ahead and just click on a strength roll up in the top left.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. So
7.
you kind of try to hammer blow the thing with the pommel, and it kind of raises its arm up and blocks with this broken off shield, and manages to block your attack. You're second level right now, so you can use the ability Cunning Action to either disengage, wink wink, nudge nudge, hint hint, or hide or dash. But if you take the disengage action, you can move out of a square without being attacked by the creature that's near you.
Ah, that one.
Yep, and get over away from them and behind behind the cool guys. Yep.
Okay.
I'm very often uses the wall.
Yes.
Very well.
But yeah,
Yeah.
if you disengage, you can move to any part of the room.
Okay. Yes. Disengage.
All right. All right. Nodder. After Sen moves, they.
Where'd I go?
I do not know.
Fine. You're under my token.
Okay, that's
Like
fine.
during the interrogation, I didn't know you were in the room, and then I moved my token. I was like, "Oh, she was there the whole time."
Yeah. If you're shifting, are you moving at all, Nodder?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and let Sen take your place. That's fine. Normally you can't move into a square, but I think that's fine. It's fair.
Okay.
Makes sense. So you're gonna attack
Alright.
the one that Sen failed to destroy.
Oh, basically we did like a tactical swap. Hell yeah.
I'm cool with that. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
And yes, two-handed.
All right. That feeble shield catches the battle axe head and kind of like pulls it aside. It does not go through, unless you were attacking recklessly, like you said you were going to before.
Well, I forgot that was a thing, so no.
Okay, fair enough. Just remember it for future reference.
Yes.
All right, Hero. Looks like Nodder's having some trouble with that skeleton there in the corner. There's this one here in the middle that's still alive, and then there's the one on the south side that's still hanging out. And Alenia did not get put on the map, but I'm gonna have to add her. She was on an 8.
So when you do a bonus action, I'm assuming that's done in addition to your normal actions, right?
Yeah, effectively, a bonus action is kind of a weird terminology for an action that is smaller than a normal action. For your purposes, 2-weapon fighting, you'll attack action and then bonus action attack as well with your offhand weapon.
Okay, so I'm going to actually exhale fire as a bonus action
Or
at
that.
the skeleton next to Nodder.
Okay. So dexterity saving throw from my skeleton. Go ahead and roll me 4d6, please. Which you can do in the dice jar on the left.
I got 5, 4, 4, 5.
All right.
So 18 total.
So, everyone, to everyone's surprise, really, the blue dragonborn kind of spits a glob of flame straight into the coffin. It kind of detonates with fire, and the skeleton just kind of descends into pieces. That's definitely something you've never seen Hero do before.
Yeah, nah.
All right.
That's new.
Now you still have your movement and your action.
Yep. And then I run after breathing fire. I charge towards the skeleton at the south one
Okay.
that I just positioned myself in front of, and I swing with my vicious longsword. As soon as I can get my life together and click the right button.
Perfectly
There we
acceptable.
go.
When
And-
do any of us have our lives together?
I don't know. I ask myself that every morning.
Pool was easy. When you look
I'm
back
guessing
at
that hits.
Yeah, for
20.
sure.
So
Alright.
6 slashing.
Similar to the first one you struck out against, it doesn't do as much damage as you'd hoped. It's definitely not battle axe bear man mode, but yeah, it definitely looks pretty well wounded in its hole. It kind of coming out of its cubby hole, kind of pressing out a bit. It attempts to attack you, and much to your surprise, the one that is behind Sen moves out and seems to move to position itself to attack you specifically. Very strange for everybody, as these things are moving past you, going for the Dragonborn. They're going to attack with their short swords. Pretty sure a 13 misses,
I have a 17 armor class.
and a 9 probably misses too. So that's good times. The skeletons couldn't hit the broadside of the barn, but they do seem to be focused in on the Dragonborn. All right, Aveline.
Oh gosh, sorry, there was something over one of them. There is one right next to Sun, and I blast him with the fire again.
Don't get me.
Hit.
17. 8.
So, Sen, you kind of see the hand glowing, kind of pointing in your direction through the remnants of the skeleton. You kind of drop down. She seems to aim it high and kind of blasts off the top portion of the skeleton's head, leaving just kind of like a bit of fire settling inside of it, like almost like a torch itself. There's like a little fire just coming out of the top of its now broken skull head.
Cute.
All right. Alenia, kind of seeing the situation, is going to drop a Sacred Flame down on the one that was just struck by flames. It succeeds at saving throw anyways. 2 damage. Forget it. All right. Sen, the one that you're adjacent to, is also adjacent to an ally, so sneak attack is at play here. If you want to just go with a regular attack. Or you can try and pommel smash him again. Again, if it takes bludgeoning damage, the damage is double.
Right. Yeah, let's try the pommel again.
Okay. So go ahead and make a strength attack. Just strength roll.
Come on, strength. Hey,
That'll
not
hit.
too bad.
So, what's your strength? Actually, roll a d4 on the left side there. And already see what your strength is. And then also roll
Just one.
Yeah, 1d4 and 1d6. All right. So as the Sacred Flame kind of juts into the skeleton, it kind of turns its attention towards Alenia, and it was already focusing on Hero, so it's not even paying attention to you. You kind of just bash the head off the side of it. Flame goes kind of careening into the ground.
4.
All right.
Golf joke. Sorry.
City folk playing their golf games. Nodder.
Is it an action if I switch from my battle axe to my mace?
Yeah, it would be because you're performing effectively 2 item interactions. But if you're holding one in one hand and holding the other in the other hand, you can't attack with both because they're too big for you, and you're not cool like Hero. But you could draw the mace and attack with it, and hold the battle axe off to the side.
Oh.
Yeah.
Could I pass the mace?
What do you mean pass the mace?
Like, could I give then my...
Could do. Yeah.
Because she doesn't have a bludgeoning weapon
I mean,
right now. Or
they-
they don't have them.
Yeah, they seem to be doing fine with the pommel of the rapier. They-
Alright.
And we only have one left.
Yeah.
Pulling in the coffin.
What's that? Notter's overcomplicating stuff. Never.
I am. All right.
He's using his
Two-handed
big brain
battle
energy.
Is Notter overcomplicating stuff? Does a bear shit in the woods?
Oh my god.
All right, that's game. Game's over.
And with that, yeah, I quit.
Never.
Let's go.
I'm done.
D&D's over.
Shut down my computer.
I'm switching to Pathfinder.
Oh, no.
I'm going back to Castles and Crusades.
Oh,
No.
Going back to Animal Crossing.
you're
Oh,
welcome,
yeah,
Wizards.
Animal Crossing.
I'm going back to RuneScape.
RuneScape.
I'm gonna go back to Pong. Let's just be real.
All the way back to Bong.
Bear Man, if you want to make an attack, please.
Yeah.
Pong. That hits damage.
Bye.
I could have said
Yep.
go.
And basically, Hero, you watch as the battle axe comes sliding between you and the coffin exterior, smashing the skeleton inside into bits. Combat completed. It looks like the other two items are still on the altar. And the skeletons look like they had similar armaments to the ones outside. Short bows on their backs, arrows, each one with a white arrow inside. Total of 5.
Are the arrows for short or long bows?
Yeah.
Or are they
Arrows work in bows and bolts work in crossbows.
cool?
Yeah,
I want a crossbow so bad.
they're pretty cool.
I fucking love shooting crossbows.
But-
In real life.
In like
and,
real life?
Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
There's
I'm
actually
also great at archery too, so.
Wow.
there's an archery range pretty close to where we're gonna move, so you can.
Cool.
I'm coming over.
I used to have a really cool bow in my basement, but it was Laura's dad's, and we had to give it back.
I used to have it, but it wasn't mine at all. So
I
Well,
used to just shoot at Girl Scout camp.
We had to tell him it was there, and then I had to tell him it was also worth $800. It was like, and then he flipped it, and I was like, "Yeah, man, yep." Just in my basement.
it's a sad story.
Chilling.
Anywho,
Yeah.
do you take the other items?
I'll take flute.
Okay, so what I'm going to do here is explain that Aveline's going to take some time and cast Detect Magic on, or not, Identify on the objects in question. This would take her about... Nobody was wounded during that fight. Yeah, I didn't hit anybody. And nobody used any special features, so you're not going to spend too much time doing this. I'd say about 10 minutes, because we don't want to cut into fire breath time too much. So that said, the potion is a potion of fire resistance, which gives you resistance to fire for 1 hour. I believe that's right. Sounds good. The flute is the one that's kind of important, and because Aveline's the one that is identifying it, I'm going to give the information to her first, and then she can determine whether she wants to tell you about it or not. My stuff's not working. Here we go. All right. So, Stephanie, you should see a thing.
Okay.
If you scroll down, you should be able to read the thing.
That is a cat.
It's a cat's back. Better than ever.
Look at that chicken nugget.
All right.
Gotta get some honey mustard for that chicken nugget.
Does that all make sense to you?
I'm still reading.
Okay. It is a lot.
Okay, so can I go ahead and tell them?
You want to tell them?
Yeah.
Okay. So, according to her, the item is called Nightcaller. And everybody, this is what it looks like.
Pretty.
And this is what it does. It does look like it was marked with dragon markings, but it looks like it was created by Deep Dwarf Stwergar. It looks like if you use the flute in darkness or under a night sky, it allows you to cast the Animate Dead spell, allowing you to bring back to life, well, semblance of life, an undead thing. Yeah. Immediately upon being told about it, Elenia is very opposed to the item in question and wants to destroy it. However, she says that, well, with the exception of Aveline, really, the others seem goodly and not from this place. And she hopes that they see her point of view.
I mean, I get it, but at the same time...
Well, you currently, have a claim on it, because you said you were going to pick it up first. But
Yeah.
It's being identified by Aveline, who still has it. And Elenia is saying she is not a fan of it, based on what it does. Her god is very anti-undead.
She's telling us this?
Yeah, she says she's opposed to it. She's not a very big fan of it. However, it doesn't sound like... She's not lawful stupid. She's not going to try and, kill the party to destroy the artifact. It's going to be more of a, continually persisting to destroy it because it's bad.
Mm-hmm. Well, just knowing what I know about it, because it can reanimate the dead.
Mm-hmm.
But do we know if it reanimates just as mindless zombie?
Oh yeah, animate dead. It creates zombies.
Okay.
Effectively. Yeah, the target becomes a skeleton if you chose bones, or a zombie if you chose a corpse.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Not as useful as I thought then.
You effectively create an undead servant that just hangs out with you for a time. And I think the Nightcaller allows you to have so many at your beck and call.
I think it has 2.
Yeah, you can reassert your control over 2.
Yeah. If it's just zombies, it's not very
Or
useful.
skeletons.
Or skeletons. It's not super useful, but it could be useful for... Can it... No, it can... I'm gonna keep on to it, but we ain't gonna use it yet.
You're going to hold on to it? Okay.
Yeah.
You can see Elenia is not happy with this decision, but she's not going to try and counter that at this point.
Yeah. It could be useful. I
You
don't know.
you understand her intentions in this matter?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Cautious.
So, with the discussion about Nightcaller being had, and the known path ahead of you being northly into the rat lair, I think this is a pretty good stopping point.
Mm-hmm.
There's about 45, we'll call it 45 minutes remaining of Dragon Breath Town, and 2 more charges on that. I will put a note here for myself on that.
You know, when you learn to do that?
2 charges remaining.
Well, when he ate the juice out of the fountain.
And I
Juice.
Wait,
what?
when I ate the
Fountain
juice.
ate the juice out of the...
Little
Oh,
that
hobo
is
teach me
just,
some new tricks.
It's a heck of a terminology. Anyways,
when I eat the juice out of the fountain.
I'm going to go ahead and stop
Fountain
the
juice.
stream. Thanks for watching. Cat, stop it. I can't